What's up, man? Y'all know what it is. Your world, my opinion. We back, man.
We are
finally
back.
y'all. This one where I got Honey J. What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? We back, y'all, with a special one. We gonna get into it, but they gave us a fire performance last night. We still turned from last night. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
And Ron Johnson from the Co-op, formerly known as the Blunted Koala, back at it, you know, chilling right here on My Opinion. You know what I mean? We're just doing what we do.
Right.
Happy to be here. Thank y'all for having me out.
Man, glad to have you, but man.
Definitely. Pleasure's mine, man.
Yeah. So you like part of the co-op, right?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm like a founding member of the co-op.
Founding member, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
y'all have to check out the show, Co-op Business. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time coming. This interview, we talked about it on there.
Yeah. We've been trying to get this together for a while. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. But for those who don't know, what is the co-op?
Okay. The co-op is a old school styles we would call it a crew. Then it became a clique.
Okay.
Then a camp. So it's all but basically the co-op is a conglomerate of several artists coming together.
Okay.
When we were back when we had more members, there were several groups comprised together to make up what's known as the co-op.
Right.
Now you have just solo artists that make up the co-op. No groups, everybody's solo artists within the co-op.
Sure.
But that's what the co-op is. And that's why we call it the co-op. Like how you have a corporation that consists of smaller businesses and entities that all come together as one conglomerate. That's the same thing that we've done, and that's why we call it.
Yeah, sure.
I love that idea. I love the name.
I like y'all banner and everything.
We're gonna get into it.
You know what I'm saying? So you the general though, right? They call you the general.
They call me the general. I'm the general of the co-op. Yes, sir.
So how did that come about? Why you the general? You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, it's a kind of a long story. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the origin story of the co-op.
Right.
So first time I ever rode around was actually for a high school project. First time I ever started riding. I didn't think about it. It was like a project we had to do for English. It was like in the 7th grade, so probably like 1990, maybe 89, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the project was you could either do a song, you could do a poem, or you could do a short story. And it had to be original, and you had to be, had to have a certain format for English.
Right.
So I combined all three together.
Okay.
When I saw it, I was like, you know what? I could do a rap.
Right.
That'd be dope. I could do a rap. I was like, wow, I don't know if I could do it. And I said, I could do it. It's a poem. It's a poem.
Right.
I always was into poetry. I read a lot of Langston Hughes.
Okay.
Growing up, Langston Hughes was one of my favorite poets, if
Okay.
not my favorite.
Sure.
I'm from Baltimore, so Edgar Allan Poe, he's a Baltimore native, so I was into his work too back then. So I started working on this little poem, and as I started writing the poem, I was like, all I gotta do is say it with rhythm,
Right.
and it's a rap.
Right.
And that's kind of how I stumbled over it.
How old were you around this time?
Probably maybe 13.
Okay.
13, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
7th grade, 12.
Yeah, 7th grade, 12, 13, something in that area.
Sure, right.
I was at College Park.
Okay.
So all my College Park, a lot of guys that was out last night know me from back then.
Okay, that's why.
So I have a long history.
It
was a reunion out there for real.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Even for me, man, a lot of people I know.
Yeah, I was like, they brought
came
the
together.
city out.
Lano, Mikey, them boys.
Yeah, Lano, Mike.
Y'all brought a lot of people out that normally don't be out.
Boy was out there.
Right.
Vincent.
Yeah,
we saw Vincent out there. Yeah, Law.
Yeah.
So a lot of those cats, know us from back then. So I did that joint, and then I remember spitting it in class, and then I spit it on the bus one day, and everybody was like, yo, little Ron, kick that one you kept. What you talking about? That rap you did in class, Mike. So I'm kind of nervous.
Right.
I beat on the bus, and I did the rap.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. They want me to do it again the next day.
For sure.
So I said, I'm gonna write something else, and that's how it started.
Yeah, when you got a person like a freestyle like that, shit, you think you good? Hold on, I got somebody for you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Most definitely.
You got a lot of rap battles in school and all that?
Oh hell yeah! I battle everybody.
Everybody. I can tell you the battle.
We went around the whole low country.
Right.
Battling everybody and anybody we could. It was kind of bad. Like you can't come to one of our shows and do that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we used to go to other people's show and rap in the crowd. We were very disrespectful.
Oh wow.
We were very disrespectful.
Y'all really got that aura too. Y'all we know y'all be top notch, you know what I'm saying? As far as y'all lyrics, y'all style, how y'all
said they had their whole clique, whatever.
That's the best
So y'all was deep.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and very. That's a big part of being an MC. Anything you do, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If you don't believe in yourself, nobody
ain't gonna make it happen. Right?
You gotta look like you believe in yourself, even if you don't. You know what I'm saying?
That was my problem.
Fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? But so we started off doing that. Then me and a guy named Eric Friday. Shout out to E Friday. That's my dog. Holla at you, E. I know you probably watching this joint. Eric Friday, the real Slim Shady.
For sure.
The first dope white boy ever that I've ever known to rap that was dope for real.
For real.
For real. And he's still dope to this day.
He can fuck with Eminem.
Yeah.
But Eminem didn't write his own stuff, right?
I'm trying to tell you, if you see this material, I'm telling y'all it's the world.
Eminem, you know what I'm saying?
What? Eminem didn't write his first early music?
He is sick. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on what Eminem did, but I'm going to speak on Eric Friday, and I'm going to say that he is competitive, because he can be compared to, and I would put my buck on Eric Friday.
Damn.
Okay.
And I love Eminem. He's a dope MC. But Eric Friday is a dope MC, and to me, he's the first. I didn't know of Eminem.
Right.
Just like Cats, we didn't know about the Wu-Tang.
You know what? I do know Eric Friday because he was somebody that was reaching out. I kept seeing him. I kept seeing him with y'all. I didn't know he was a part of the Koala.
Yeah, he's one of the original members. Him and I started the group, and then we met up with this guy, Abdul Kelly.
Okay.
So me, Eric, and Abdul Kelly formed a group called the Brigade.
Okay.
And then we started working with this local promoter named Christian Cameron.
Yeah.
Who was cool with Z93. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember Christian Cameron.
You remember Christian Cameron? You remember Captain Craig Lewis? Captain Craig Lewis, one of the original DJs of Z93. Big in the 90s, early 90s, like 1992. Okay. And man, Christian, man, put us on. Man, let me hear what y'all got. We had one song that we did. He was like, I'm gonna give y'all a chance. Y'all mess it up, y'all ain't never getting on stage.
I know that right.
We got on stage, we rocked it, and he booked us for the P-Rock CL Smooth show, which is where Darnell, Thomas Munlin, all the other guys saw us at that show and was like, yo, they rapping? Yeah. We can rap. Right. And then they started a group. And then our two groups got together. That started what's known as the LOF, which then developed into the Koala. LOF was the Legion of Funk. So that's a quick version. Right.
More
details. We got a lot of time.
But we still don't know how you became the general, though.
Because I started it. I started the original first group. I started the first group that inspired the other groups that came together. And really, my peers selected. Right. Like, well, who's going to be the leader? Who's going to be our leader? Our number one guy. And we always did everything democratically. Right. If you joined the group, we all had to vote for it. If we kicked you out the group, we all had to vote for it. Damn. And majority were group.
Right. So it's hard to keep something like that going, but that's a good way to do it.
It is. And you had to try out. Sure. And if we felt like you were good enough, then we let you in the group. And then you became an official member. That's how we did things. So they selected me to be the president, the leader of the group. And so that's how I became technically the general. I gave myself the moniker the general, but I was selected as the president of the group. Right. So it's locked in. And you know, Darnell, we call him Captain Koala because it's a joke. Yeah. Because he's always on work.
He said that.
So Captain Koala is actually a joke. That went into real, it just became like, but he's always been, if I'm William Shatner, then he's Leonard Nimoy. Right. He's Spock. So he's number 2. So, but he has I'm just the president. The president don't really do nothing. For sure. He's not really, doesn't really do anything. Darnell does a lot work. He does a lot more work than I do. I'm like a face. I'm, I'm respected as a lyricist. Right. Darnell does production. He does, he's a hell of an MC, as you see. You know what I'm saying? And he does production. He does the video. He does a lot of work for us as a group. And
who's the best in the group?
Me.
What
the hell you mean?
What you mean?
When you just make that bit of lyrics, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're one of the most lyrical ones.
We all got our own things. We all got our own things that we're good at. Right. We all got our own things that we're good at, man, and we compliment each other as a good relationship. As it should be. You know, so I'm saying, of course I'm gonna say I'm the best. You should be. If Darnell was in here, I hope he's gonna say he's the best. Abdul probably gonna say he's the best. Tom's gonna say he's the best. But I'm the best, pound for pound. Just because, I got the total package. And if when Darnell had his birthday party, I hosted it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna pick me. I can fill all the roles. See what I'm saying? But nobody can do my role.
What's the total package? You said you got the total package.
The total package. So I can host. Right. I can rhyme. Right. I'm good with people. you know, everybody's not good with people.
No, for sure.
You know, everybody doesn't have the patience to deal with people.
Right.
I'm a great businessman.
Right.
You know, I have a street credibility, and I have a credibility also as a businessman.
Right, for sure.
So that's what I say when I say
yeah.
I'm the total package.
Right.
As far as when it comes down to us and the crew. You know what I'm saying? Overall, because you got to have all those elements.
For sure.
You got to be able to go. And some people don't like me because they say I'm arrogant. We're all arrogant. Everybody in co-op, they say arrogant.
Right.
And there's a certain level of pride that we take within what we do that comes across as arrogance, but really it's just confidence and knowledge of who you are. You've been doing it for 30-some years. It's hard to just tell somebody they don't know what they're doing.
You validate.
Yeah,
right.
Like the dude came up to Darnell last time. I was like, "Yo, can I get on the mic?" And Darnell was like, "No."
Yeah, and
he was like, "Can I get on the mic?" He was like, "No." He's like,
he
"Why?"
told me Captain
Darnell was like, "Because I said so."
And you know what's crazy?
Darnell told him that.
I call him Captain Co-op. He's like, "Oh, I forget that." You know, that's crazy though. That's off the chain, man. Like. So, I mean, I know you said formerly known as the Blunt Koala.
Yeah.
Why you say that? What's up?
Why did you drop it?
Okay, well, it doesn't fit my current state of growth and where I'm at. You know, you outgrow things.
Yeah.
The Blunt Koala, I've always evolved names. One of my original names was Lil Khan, not C-O-N, but K-H-A-N, like Genghis Khan, like ruler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I evolved out of that. And you keep evolving. But I've always been Ron Johnson.
Yeah, for sure.
That's always been Ron Johnson, the Blunt Koala.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the Blunt Koala because I don't get high.
Right.
So I can't be the Blunt Koala
if you don't get blunted.
I don't get blunted no more.
Right. And the koalas are great.
The koalas great. Koalas are great. They're small bears. I was giving you a little rundown yesterday.
You did. You know what I'm saying?
They have a temperament. They're kind of violent.
Yeah.
Koala will kill you.
Yeah,
right. And they look
cuddly.
And then the boy got the claws and that shit.
Yeah. They ain't gonna let you go.
They ain't gonna let you go. And they eat the eucalyptus.
You pull your fur back, you like, oh shit.
Yeah, they get you.
You know what I mean?
They eat the eucalyptus leaf to make themselves calm, which is kind of like how I did with marijuana.
Man, we studied them motherfuckers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a scientist. I'm a nerd.
You mother Blunt Koala, you nigga. I know everything but the Blunt Koala.
I'm a nerd, man. You gotta be. You'll never meet a dumb MC.
Right.
Sure.
It doesn't exist. If you meet a dumb MC, he ain't an MC.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm gonna say. Y'all music is more like up north type style, and you know, New York always been arrogant, and that style of music always been arrogant. You know what I'm saying? You talking about like Cameron, you talking about all them boy Nori. You know, anytime you watch them boy how they move, you know they carry on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
But as far as the music is concerned, too, lyrically, they are talking about something. There's a message. There's a storyline. You know what I'm saying? I love the South, and I love, you know what I'm saying, our music at the same time. We like to repeat ourselves a lot. Use the same words. You know, we're not really concentrated on the vocabulary and
saying something different, doing it different.
Right.
Which I love.
Which I admire.
And I love when y'all had that flip too, because Southern, y'all from down, y'all, I mean, not from, because you and Darnell from Philly, right?
No, I'm from Baltimore. I'm a native of Baltimore. But I was raised here.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't look at it like I can, but it's a couple things because I'm not DT.
Yeah.
Charleston is one of those areas where if you're not like the Charleston people, you're outcasted.
Right, sure.
So you have to pick your own brand.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's kind of why I don't believe in up north and down south. I don't believe in that. I believe in
I can see you looking at that when I said that.
I believe in, that's why I'm looking at that. Because if we can go into that, because hip-hop is hip-hop.
Right.
Andre 3000 has a southern swing, but he's a dope MC.
Oh my God.
I don't look at whether are you a dope MC or not. Bun B is a dope MC.
Right. Sure.
He's a dope MC.
Yeah.
The white boy, Eminem, he's a dope MC.
Right.
He's not a white boy, he's a dope MC.
For sure.
Period. And then you got whack MCs.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when you got whack northern MCs, you got whack, and that part is just your dialect and your demographic, how you speak. That's really what categorizes. Because there's some West Coast rappers that sound like, you ever heard Razzcast?
Yeah, I heard the name. Yeah.
Razzcast sounds like an East Coast rapper,
right.
but he's from the West Coast.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
And rappers like that for sure.
And you got cats, and when the South started blowing up, you had all the northern rappers. What's the boy named French Montana?
Right.
Sounds like a southern rapper.
Right.
50 style,
50 style, all the way.
Yeah. So they emulated what was popular.
Yeah.
And when we happened to be growing up, that up north style was popular.
Yeah.
So that kind of gravitated. But me myself, I'm a nerd. Always have been.
Right.
I'm quick to pick up a book. I love to read. That's just in me. You know what I'm saying?
Good thing.
So because of my love. Like I was telling you,
That's why your
like,
vocabulary, that's why your lyrics do what it do. 'Cause you got a lot of
even when I talk, my vocabulary is like that. So when I'm writing down my lyrics, you know, and I challenge myself with synonym matching.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the style patterns that I use. Like if you heard the song I was doing last night, Grandmaster Hits, me and my conglomerate shall remain anonymous.
Right,
the syllable match.
Oh,
Self-contained
okay.
unit, autonomous. Y'all saw with them vagina lips.
Yeah.
Babe was how I mind the biz.
Yeah.
Watch the world report for what time it is. Some niggas got tiny dicks.
Yeah.
The whole syllable.
Yeah, I like it.
See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's that for that in particular song. I took that style to do it, and so it's all about styles when you talk about northern and southern,
Sure.
that kind of thing. So I don't really per se believe in it like that because you got cats like Andre 3000, who got a different style every time you hear him. He's just a dope MC.
Sure.
Exhibit. He's from the West Coast. He's just a dope MC.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my whole thing with that.
Well, you know, you said that, you know, you dropped the blunt at Koala, so you said you was on a journey. What's going on? What's going on with the journey that you're on now with the where you at now?
Well, I was an alcoholic. I was a drug addict. That's what it was. I had to change my lifestyle. And so in that journey, you can't grow and go forward when you're holding on to something that's behind you. When we walk, we look in the direction that we're going. I can't walk and look like this while I'm running or something.
Right, for sure.
If I'm looking back here and I'm walking this way,
right.
how the hell I know where I'm going? So you have to sever certain ties from things.
Sure.
You have to let go of some things in order to gain something new. See what I'm saying? And be grateful for the lessons you learned in that position, but continue to grow forward. So cutting the blunt and Koala wasn't all just as simply as about, I represent something. When I get on a microphone, I represent something. When people see me, I'm still a man of God, regardless. I'm still a father. I'm still a grandfather. I'm still my mama's son. You know what I'm saying? I want my mama to be able to look at this podcast and be proud of what I'm saying.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? I want people to be able to gravitate to what I'm saying and have respect for me as an artist and as a man.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's a certain way you have to conduct yourself. And I didn't know that when I was in active addiction because I was thinking about what I wanted at the time.
Right.
You know, instant gratification is a thing.
Right.
A real thing.
It's a real thing.
Something we've all battled with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was a big part of the struggle. So having suffered from alcoholism, it runs in my family. You see what I'm saying? My grandfather died from it. My father died from it. Hell, my sister died from it. See what I'm saying? This happened recently. So it's a real thing in my bloodline, a real thing for my family. And I had to look at myself. The hardest part was I'm real honest with other people. I'll tell you quick, you gotta go in your nose, you brush it. But I lied wrong.
Right.
Okay,
I lied
never
wrong.
lie to yourself.
I couldn't look myself in the mirror.
Right, and say,
and
yo,
be like,
you
yo,
got
you got a
problems.
problem. Because it was a normal thing.
Yeah.
I drank a fifth.
And he wasn't ready to give it up.
Yeah, I drank a fifth of tequila every day.
Damn.
Like almost a whole fifth by myself.
Like how long?
Like maybe about 4 to 6 hours.
No, like how long in life?
Oh, how long did I do that?
Doing that, yeah.
I started really drinking heavy probably the last maybe since like 2018, something in that area.
Okay. So
but I always was a heavy drinker.
Right.
But I just didn't drink. I wasn't drinking as much liquor. I
Yeah.
started off drinking beer. You know, we from the 40 era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would drink 2 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
That knock it down right there.
yeah, 40s.
Most people
It don't get no bigger than no 40. The bottle just keep going straight up.
Okay.
Rest in peace to Freak. That was my drinking
Yeah.
My dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mallet Boy, rest in
Yeah,
peace.
Mallet Boy number 1 in the building. That's my
Saying,
dog.
you
Rest
know
in
what I
peace.
mean?
to Freak.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I used to go up to the shop sometime and just hang out with Freak.
Right,
I ain't
right.
come to get a haircut.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We getting a bottle. I'm gonna go to the store, yo, I'm gonna get us another one. We might knock out 2 bottles of Crown. You know, and I used to do the Jungle Fever thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixing brown and white.
Oh,
you know what I'm
shit.
saying?
The headache?
Yo.
That shit gonna give you a headache, man.
You know, I was out.
Yeah, you say-
I deal with the
Yeah.
problem tomorrow. I want instant gratification.
Superpower.
I want now.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to feel what I feel now.
Yeah.
But a lot of it comes from running from yourself, not being honest with yourself about who you are.
Right.
A big thing is understanding yourself as a man is knowing your weaknesses. I'm a small man.
Right.
So you might be stronger than me, but I know I'm faster.
Right.
So my weakness is also my advantage.
Right.
I can see it in that aspect when it comes down to fighting. A female said about me last night. She's like, Ron don't care. He 5 foot nothing, but he carries himself. His personality is 6'5".
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't able to calculate that in a truthful perspective about what my issues were internally.
Okay.
Because we all suffer from some sort of trauma.
Yes.
No matter what.
And you have to deal with that and face and understand that in order to move forward, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when did your sobriety start and how did it come about? What made you, what happened
Well, I
to make
wanted
you?
to ask before you go into the sobriety. You
Okay.
said that the drinking really picked up around 2018. Was it something significant that occurred in your life around that time that you think maybe encouraged you to drink more heavy?
I don't think it was anything. I was making more money. More money, more problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I celebrate all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
a lot of our problems.
Right.
We always
And I-
Celebrate everything.
Absolutely.
Two steps.
And I started getting into a place where I was more independent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got 3 baby mamas.
Okay.
So there's always something tied to me that
Yeah.
I felt. And I was always ducking something.
Hey, that's a challenge within itself,
Yeah,
man. You got to
one
be a
baby
master.
mama is a
You got
challenge.
to be able to. You a bad motherfucker. You mastering that shit.
Okay,
You know what I
listen.
mean? It's something like you might do that with purpose. Just
People
to
would need a
challenge
drink,
yourself.
you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely ain't easy. Luckily for me, you know, the kids keep everything together.
For sure.
You know, the kids keep everything together.
Yeah.
Because they all, you know, they sisters and brothers, so they
Yeah,
gonna stick
yeah.
together.
For sure.
And because of that, they kind of make everybody else mesh. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
My baby
Yeah.
mamas might not like each other, but they love the children.
Yeah, and they gotta.
Because
Yeah.
of that, they all
Yeah.
have a common ground.
Right.
And also, I'm a common enemy.
Right.
So that's their common. We got, you
Yeah.
know, we don't like each other, but
Fuck
the
on,
enemy,
man. He called you. I hate you.
the enemy of my enemy is my
Right.
friend.
They say as a supervisor, you're supposed to do that. Make all the team members hate you, and now they working together.
Yeah, it's a strategy.
I've never heard of that.
Well,
No.
yeah.
That's a strategy.
Now I'm the
What if
enemy.
everybody just like everybody?
I mean, they don't be liking each other.
I know, I'm just
They gotta gossip about you. Now they talking, but they ain't talking to each other. They talking to the supervisor. Man, that motherfucker said we had to work overtime today. You know, shit like that. So
Right, and it makes
it's a good
sense.
strategy.
It is a great strategy.
Right.
Sun Tzu, the art of war. And it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
So that's kind of what happened with that. But I think just the higher level of independence. I was making a little bit more money. I was spending a lot of time just alone. I was just in a dark place.
Right.
And a lot of times when you don't bring things to the light, it festers. And when it festers, it grows. That's why honesty and transparency is a big thing, like I was saying earlier. Because you gotta tell them. So you gotta tell them the devil is
Speak on
shame.
it. Yeah.
Because if
yeah.
you don't, like, it was tough for me last night to go. That's my first time. I tell people all the time,
Right.
a lot of experiences now are virgin experiences for me. I never had sex with a woman and I wasn't under the influence.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Is it better
of course,
or worse?
now I have.
It's better,
Way
right?
better.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're all like,
It's way better.
you like,
It's way better. And then
you don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Oh,
but
my
some of them love that though. But some of them love that.
Because you go long, you know what I mean?
Nah, that's not
Yeah,
true.
not
That's not
necessarily
true.
true.
That's
I
not
don't
You
true.
talking sober or
I
drunk?
hold the pipe when I'm sober more than I did when I wasn't sober.
Okay.
Now,
I can
Right.
see that.
you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And now, I'm just a person. I'm a freaky dude.
Right.
Just generally speaking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the alcohol might make you a little bit more but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's your personality anyway.
So,
What it does is gives you a false sense of security.
right.
So you're able to, you don't care. So
Right.
you're when you're that person anyway, you just hold it inside.
Yeah.
So you got to learn to not hold that little boy inside. And another thing is emotional sobriety. That's the key. Emotional sobriety.
Yeah, speak on that.
Yeah.
Dante, my best friend, Dante Picasso. Shout out to P. I'll let your boy P. P, Mr. Jimmy, P's dad, he's like a father to me too. He told us something one time. It sticks with me to this day. He said, "Y'all niggas gotta learn how to cry."
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like,
Right. You gotta let it go, man. Yeah.
For what?
"One to love a man that can cry."
Right.
That's really a more. I mean,
You gotta be the right type of cry.
Yeah, I'm about to say the
You gotta
right
be
timing
you
now.
know, like, and then it gotta
Timing
be.
is everything.
You can't be crying all the time.
no.
I ain't about to say that.
Put it that way. When she see you crying, she'll be, oh my goodness, he really.
Yo, oh my God, baby.
Right.
Yeah, oh my
You
God.
know you a man's man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
But it's okay to. A woman wants to know that you have vulnerability.
Right.
True.
She
Right.
wants to see that
Right.
that vulnerability. That's
Yeah.
attractive.
Yeah.
And since I've been in sobriety, in my recovery, and when I talk about it, sometimes I get emotional.
Right.
And I'm not afraid. Before I was too tough to cry.
Right.
Because we're taught, man, oh, big boy, don't cry, you don't cry.
Right.
That's all myth. That's mythological.
Right.
Because there's scientific fact that crying releases a chemical in your brain that actually heals your mind.
Right.
And rejuvenates.
It's a release.
It's an actual science to it.
That up off of you.
And so when you realize that especially us as black men, we need to stop, mental health is a thing, bro.
Right.
I never believed that. That's white people stuff.
Nah, that shit real.
But it's real.
Yeah.
It's really real.
I've been through it. That's
It's really real. And I got a friend of mine lived out in Moss Corner. He killed himself. And I couldn't believe it. I thought he had the greatest life. I'm like, dude got chicks, he got good
that shit
job.
matters, man.
Like, why did he do that? It's just hard to believe. But you don't know what a person's going through behind closed doors. And we don't find enough time to release.
Right.
And really be in contact with who we are emotionally, being a comprehensive man. I was reading a book by Jason Wilson. This guy, interesting guy. You might have seen him on Facebook. He's got a couple books. One's about being a comprehensive man, and the other one is it's called The Time Demands. That's one of the books.
Okay.
Pick that up if you disagree.
I like that title.
Yeah, it's a powerful book. I've been reading that one, and dang it, I can't remember the other one right now. I feel ashamed of myself a little bit. But since I've been in that book, I kind of forgot the other book, but I didn't forget the principles. But it's about being in contact with who you are inside and being mindful of your thoughts. Like I said, I love women. Yeah. It's always going to be a part of me. Right. God made me that way. Now I'm a lover.
That's a good thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing.
I'd be wondering if people check themselves. I always check myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I have a conversation with somebody and it goes a certain way, I'm going to think about it and see if I was wrong in the conversation or if I got angry. You know what I'm saying? I'm always checking myself, man. I just feel like that's, I don't think everybody do that. I think it's a good thing to do. Because like you said, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror, understanding your faults and dealing with it, and understanding how your faults is maybe, hurting somebody else.
Most definitely.
That's
why you're a supervisor.
Right.
That's why you're a supervisor.
Right.
That's your job. Because you got that mindset.
Yeah.
That's a mindset of a leader.
Right.
That's a mindset of a leader.
Right.
A leader, you can't be a great leader. That's why I was chosen to be the general.
Right.
You can't be a great leader if you're not willing to, a couple things you gotta have. You gotta be able to take the fault when it's not your fault.
Sure.
Number one.
Yeah.
Two, you gotta be able to admit when you're wrong.
Right.
And know that you're gonna have to make some decisions that's uncomfortable.
Right.
That's part of the game.
Right.
You gotta be able to say, look, I mean, I got fire and I got Cobra's poison.
Right.
Which one am I gonna take?
Yeah.
Either I'm gonna run through the fire or I'm gonna drink this Cobra poison.
Right.
I'm gonna go through the fire.
I'm going to fire.
And we're like, yo, why the hell? Like,
Cobra poison, you got
we gotta work overtime.
Right.
That was the
That's
tough
right,
decision
yeah.
that I had to make in order for this to get accomplished.
Yeah.
That's what leadership is all about.
Sure.
And being able to have the gall to make those decisions. Same thing applies in your recovery and how you look at yourself.
Yeah.
So now my mission every day is to become a better version of Ron than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
Every single day. And I accepted the challenge of bettering myself.
I've seen your growth. I follow you on Facebook. I know when you went, you went to Boston or Detroit? Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Goddamn Baltimore.
We always get Baltimore.
Hey, man, I know that Wyatt. Wyatt one of my favorite shows, man.
The Wyatt.
Right. But we're going to pop this bottle. I know you don't drink no more.
Do y'all think?
We're going to celebrate you by, popping the Don Luch. You know what I'm saying? Prosecco, please check it out. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is.
Locally owned.
Yeah, man.
Nationally known.
Yeah.
Oh, let me find out. It's locally owned?
Yeah,
black owned, locally
owned. He wanted to,
shout out to my man. I've been rapping the Charleston since before nobody.
I know, I said that.
I know everybody.
If you don't know Twin D, you ain't been rapping the Charleston.
Twin know.
Yeah,
we know all
so
those
yeah, he won
So
third.
his brother is the one.
Well, yeah, you got with Donovan, and then you got David.
Yeah. His brother partnered with some other guys, and this is their.
But they both run the studio together.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Twin.
But the one that, the one that mainly being that is the other brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you don't see as much because he's doing, business ventures like
That's
this.
awesome.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes more.
That's
But
awesome.
and this is off the chain, man.
Yeah.
Make a non-alcoholic version, man. I get on it.
That's
Okay.
That's some smart shit,
All right.
That's some smart shit.
Heineken do it, there's money in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Heineken doing it, so it's got to be some money in it. You know what I mean?
And I know a lot of people who have started their sobriety just this year who still go out, mix, and would love something like that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I mean, okay, go ahead.
But when it comes to the sobriety, I remember Charlie Wilson, he was talking about his sobriety and he was like, every day he is like fighting it, 1 second away from going back to his old ways. Do you find that over time it becomes easier and more manageable and you don't think about it as much? Or do you find that it is a difficult everyday struggle?
That's a good question. One thing you have to know, you never have it be. So I think it's a mindset thing. I wake up every day knowing that I'm one drink away from being who I used to be. I'm a glass of that away from being who I used to be. And that is what, and knowing that I can relapse keeps me on track.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not the fear of it, but the freedom. Because freedom is understanding your boundaries. People think freedom is not having boundaries. That's not what freedom is. Freedom is understanding what your boundaries are. Right. Knowing that I can't just jump off the roof of this building and expect my leg.
Right.
That's real freedom. It's going to happen because the law of gravity don't care. A baby, a grown man, a 90-year-old lady, jump off that roof.
Not playing favorites.
It's not exactly. And so freedom is understanding what your boundaries actually look like and operating within that to get the most success that you can get. You see what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that sometimes you're not going to exceed those boundaries. It depends on what those boundaries look like. So in a work field, us being black men, we may face certain adversity in the work field. We got to know how to operate within those boundaries to still grow beyond the boundaries.
Right.
Yes. That's a key thing. That's freedom.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Have you replaced it with anything? With alcohol? Have you found something to replace it with?
Right.
Kind of give you something else?
Not really. Everything that I do now, I always did. The alcohol started absorbing some of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about the kicks. I love
right.
kicks.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm sitting there buying a fifth of alcohol, a pack of cigarettes every day.
Yeah. When think about
an eighth of weed every other day.
Yeah.
My bill was running up to almost $1,500-$1,600 a month. I was spending just between that, ain't including your occasional coke, pills, whatever else I might be tricking with, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I'm trying
that, when you go through those cycles, especially when you got that much drug use going on, because I had levels of more drug use and other levels, and you just ain't focused on nothing else, man. You know what I'm saying? And your money just come and go.
Oh yeah. It's you nickel and diming your money away. You don't even realize how much. You don't pay attention to how much money you're spending on it.
Pack of cigarettes, let's say it's $8.
Yeah, pack of cigarettes is one of the worst of all.
And in Baltimore, they 13. So let's say here at Charleston, before I left, it was like $8.50.
They like $11 now for Newport.
Let's just go with 8. I'm gonna do a simple math equation. It's 30 days in a month. 8 times 30, that's 240. That's just cigarettes.
Right.
That's a small.
That's
a cardinal. That's insurance. Right. All right. So boom. Now let's look at you smoke an eighth of weed every other day. Eighth of weed only about $25.
Right.
Every other day. It's 7 days in a week. So you're looking at what, about $75-$100, give or take, right?
Yeah.
A week.
Easy.
That's
depending on what you smoke.
Depending on what you smoking. That's $300 to $400 a month on top of the $240. That's $640 right there a month. That's a Cadillac.
Yeah.
That's a nice car. And I was wondering why I
do you want to smoke or do you want a Cadillac?
Okay.
So I was literally blowing my car.
Right.
And smoking.
Yeah.
I was literally drinking my
insurance.
My insurance.
Base model Cadillac.
My bill.
Base model.
Yeah, base model Cadillac.
But it's a luxury car.
And the chick got wide up windows.
That's all right.
I wouldn't care if it was a
Nah, you right.
You know what I'm saying?
You get the Cadillac family pretty
Pat and Charlie. You know what I'm saying? It's better than Pat and Charlie.
Ain't that the truth?
But I was complaining about what I didn't have. Sometimes you got to do more deleting and less saving.
Right.
You're trying to save, but you ain't deleting nothing. So, but to answer that question more directly, it is an everyday battle. But you're gonna battle yourself every day in some regard, no matter what. So it's a perspective thing. I don't look at it as, it doesn't bother me. Last night when I was hanging out, I don't want to be drunk.
Right.
I'm watching other people be drunk. I know how. I'm like, I'm glad I don't look like that's how I used to look.
Right.
I don't even remember. I can remember what happened.
Judging us with it?
Yeah, that's why you was talking bad about me. I was enjoying myself.
Look at that goddamn alcoholic.
Look at him.
Listen, you're an attractive young lady.
Thank you.
So I love to see. I'm a flirt with you. I don't care what they do. I don't know what goes on here. But I'm saying, you're an attractive young lady. 1, 2. I can tell y'all to enjoy yourself. But like I told you, I pay attention to character traits.
Right.
And you didn't appear to me to be drunk.
No, I
You just
wasn't.
appeared to me to be having a good time.
Right.
And now a couple of my homeboys, they was drunk. And I know them personally. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't judge nobody.
Right.
Because I was the drunkest of the drunk.
For sure.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you just start to see it for what it is.
And I see it for what it is, and I know that that's not what I want.
And that's actually keeping you
keeps me
in
abreast.
line.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I know we're gonna get to the music at some point, but do you feel like the environment that comes with being an MC, whether it be studio, do you feel like those environments promote drug use? And is it more difficult especially for the young people who are getting into the business and say they struggle already? Do you think that maybe there's some things they should look out for? Can you elaborate on what that experience is like being
Drug go
sober?
with the music.
Yeah,
That's a good question. You ever heard the album The Chronic?
Right,
of course.
There you go, right there. I came up in that era.
Mhm.
I also came up in the era of Big Daddy Kane,
Oh yeah.
who was one
My
of the
dad
original
loved
5%ers.
Yes.
Right.
Big Daddy
yes.
Kane. So a lot of things. I come up in the era of conscious rap too.
Right.
X-Clan,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rakim.
Yeah.
These guys are conscious rappers. The original hip hop music was conscious, but as it became more popular, it became
Yeah, but it's
more
like, it had an
mainstream.
element to it.
It started becoming more modern, more corrupt.
Right.
And then we elaborate. I love NWA. I love them.
Right.
Yeah.
But they brought in a whole thing that kind of tore down a lot of what was the foundation that was built prior to them.
Sure.
And it's
I
like we
agree with
never
that.
recovered as a culture.
But they just
Hip-hop.
telling their truth, though, right?
They were just telling the truth, but I mean, there's still a way of telling your truth. We're telling you, I can tell you the same exact truth.
Public
that I can tell
Enemy
you.
was telling the truth,
Exactly.
but yeah, there was a way they were doing it. You know.
And we all
I
said
agree.
F the police. Don't
Right.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
So it was a relatable thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Great business wise, but the reference in the women as bitchs
Right,
and
right.
hoes, and then that became a thing that we took on.
And then
into our
music
culture.
videos started to kind of
Yeah.
glorify a certain lifestyle and
Absolutely.
portraying women and people of color in a certain way.
Look,
It was always in the hood.
I give you a prime example. Us coming up, weed was the drug.
Right.
These young boys do pills.
Yeah.
When we were coming up, we said that's some white boy stuff.
For sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
We ain't popping no pills.
Yeah,
it just
nah,
wasn't
they
a
didn't
common.
elevate
Now
it.
Everybody looked at
black
you like,
people.
"Pop
I
a
mean,
pill."
well, I guess that's more my era when they started doing the Blue Dolphins and shit like that.
I mean,
In
I
high
know.
school though?
Yeah, well, it was
Oh, I was
high
about to
school.
say, come on now.
No, it was I did no drug in high school now.
Okay, I was
I
about
was
to
wrestling in
say.
high school. My name on the wall was Street. You heard?
All right.
But right now, I'm wrestling for real. But yeah, now after high school, I'm talking about
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
So it
outside
was
high
a little. It came a little bit later with
Yeah,
the pills.
I
I
sold
agree.
drugs
For sure,
and
for
I
sure.
did, like I said in the
The
song
white dudes
last
was
night.
sniffing gas and shit.
Well, yeah, huffing gas.
Huffing, all kind of
I mean,
stuff.
but it was just different, and all through the music.
Mm-hmm.
So the music does influence you. Lucifer, he was an angel of music, angel of worship.
Yes. A lot of
Music
people-
translates a certain level of subliminal message to you, even if you don't understand it.
Yeah.
You might not picked up every word of what I was saying in that rap song yesterday, but your brain did.
Sure.
When you drive, it's a scientific fact.
Yeah, it comes back.
When
And
you
your
drive,
spirit
did you know
does,
when
because you-
they hypnotized the dude and they said, "Tell us what you saw." He remembered every single license plate from his road ride to work,
Right.
every single turn he made,
Mm-hmm.
when he made it. You don't think
Right.
about it. Most
Yeah,
of what
I
you
agree
do
with
is
that.
on autopilot.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't think
Right.
blink, 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 blink,
Right, right.
breathe, breathe,
Sure,
breathe. Your body
sure.
just
It happens
does
by
it.
itself.
Your brain does it. When you drive to work, you drove here, right? How many left turns did you make? You probably don't know. You see what I'm saying? You'd have to go back and really think about it, but you do it so frequently, you don't know your real route to work. You can't tell me every single street you turn.
Right.
And then I go down here, I make a right on so-and-so street. Then I go up to the second light,
Yeah,
make
no,
a left on it. You don't know that. But you know how to get there. Because your brain is on an autopilot mode. So mindfulness is a big thing when it comes down to recovery. And being attached to what I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking determines what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling determines how I react or respond in a situation.
Right.
So when I see her, she's having a good time, I can look at her as an objectifier because I might see she's attractive. Or I can look at her as my sister and see the God within her.
Right.
And it's still a
mostly how
level
you
of
feel-
attraction.
That's mostly
but
how
it's
you
not
feel about yourself at the
disrespect.
time. How your feeling is. How you look at them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. yes.
And so in my alcohol state, I'm looking at it differently than I'm looking at it in sobriety.
Right.
And so that's the same thing of how my perspective is on life now at this place. See what I'm saying? I care about, somebody said something, Apollo said something, shout out to Apollo. He said something on a post, because I was doing a little video before the show last night. And he was like, the love of life looked good on you, brother. That almost made me cry.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Like, he said, the love of life looks good on you, bro.
Right. And you can see it.
Those,
yeah,
those
your youthfulness, you can see your braids, all that. You know what I'm saying? You can tell you're taking care of yourself. You can tell that you're looking towards the future now, man. And you look damn good, man.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to have the Ron. I've been supposed to do a show with you, but this is Ron I'm supposed to have, man.
Absolutely.
You know
yeah.
God in control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're getting the best version.
And right now we're talking about drugs, we're talking about music. I mean, so you know, how you feel about what's going on with the Diddy trial right now? I'm just gonna throw that in there. We can come back.
Well, no, I think it is a good topic, right?
I mean,
because one of the arguments from his side is that he too was a drug addict and that he consumed a lot of drugs on a daily basis. They've proven, you know, they brought his pill bag and they, you know, showed it in court. And so one of the arguments is that he was too high most of the time to consciously do the things that he did intentionally or in a malicious way.
I mean, you know, love women, we love drugs, we love money, we love power.
And we know that some
and
men
that's
can
what he's
crack
going
control.
through. I think he's a monster, but
how much do you think the drugs could? Do you think that's a good argument?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You're a man. You chose to do the drugs.
Right.
So whatever you did after you chose to do the drugs, you're still responsible for whatever you did.
Sure.
One of my daughters doesn't really want to be a part of my life because of how I was on the drugs, how I was on alcohol. Now I have to be a man. I don't have a time machine where I can go back and change what I did, change the past, change the relationship with me and her mother.
Right.
I can't do that, right? But what I can do is operate how I would like to see the future going forward.
Sure.
And as a man, have an acceptance of what I did, do my time, whether that's the situation with the relationship with my daughter, take it to the higher power because he's in control of everything.
Yes.
So he's going to fix that relationship for me.
So
So he's going to mend that. So I'm saying, as a man, as Diddy saying that, that's a cop out to me.
For sure.
Because I've done some stuff. I mean, I'm just going to be real, and I don't really talk about this much. I got beat up real bad because I put my penis in a girl's mouth because I was drunk. In her house with her boyfriend.
What?
So I got metal plates on this side of my feet.
Oh, right.
Oh,
damn.
man.
So you just did it like in front of the boy, like total disrespect?
Nah, it was like, no, it wasn't like that. But it was really on some creepy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, but there was a lot more to it. I ain't gonna make no excuses.
you
You know
gotta do all that.
what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like, you know, it was. I did it because I could say I did it because I would have never did it sober.
Right.
I would have did it sober.
Right. And that's the thing.
I would have did it
You
sober.
still gonna be
And I was on multiple levels of drugs.
The alcohol take it to
Gotcha.
another
No,
level.
I was on multiple drugs.
Yeah.
I wasn't just on one thing.
Sure.
I was on coke, alcohol, and mushrooms.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's all uppers, except for the mushrooms.
It's a psychedelic. Yeah, but it's a downer. But you know, being on all those things. But guess what? I did that. You know, I didn't snitch. I didn't say what. You know what I'm saying? I had to. Guess what? I had to take the beat.
Sure.
That's what a man do. Then
Take accountability.
You gotta take accountability for what you did.
Yeah.
Hey Diddy, at the end of the day, you might have been high, but you can't go around putting your fingers in men's butts.
Right.
Because you can say, oh, I'm high.
Unless you ask first or something.
Yeah, let somebody request that.
You can't fly him over.
Yeah.
So now you know what I mean?
And give them all these drugs and this. I was on drugs too.
Provide the drugs.
Right.
Provide the party.
Right.
Secretly provide the drugs. Not even willingly.
Not
you flipping somebody at Mickey.
Yeah, man, he got a lot.
You know, so you know, speaking from my own perspective and some of the things that I've done, a lot of the crimes that I committed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of crimes I committed. Most of 90% of the bad decisions I made. Like I said earlier, it's almost nothing I haven't done. So I've never done everything now is a virgin experience to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm really now starting to live life. I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm just now experiencing. I've been rapping for 30-some years, and last night was the first time I performed
sober, right?
Look at God. So how long have you been sober?
Almost 14 months, like a year and 11 months and 21 days, something like that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And we was about to get into that. Was there something that happened that drove the sobriety? Or
I'm a wild dude,
you just
man.
was like, yo, you know what?
I just told you I did. I just told
you don't have to tell us the incident. I understand, but you know,
it was just time.
It was a time.
I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
What I'm saying, because I like people to understand. I want people to learn from my story.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm not embarrassed.
And that's what we.
I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? I stand on anything that I did, whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'll apologize for anything I did as a man. And if I feel like I'm right, I'm not going to apologize.
I know that right.
I'm going to say, nah, I stand on business on that.
Yes.
And if I feel like it's some leeway, like you, I can look myself in the mirror and say, you know what, I could have approached that differently.
Right.
I was working at this job, I was drinking a lot, and you know, I'm always on business. So the girls I work with, they those Rod's kind of mean. I've been always serious.
Right.
I work with a bunch of pretty girls.
You like a serious dude.
I work with a bunch of pretty girls.
Right.
I can't let them see that I'm sweet on them.
Right.
Now they got edge on me.
Right.
Okay.
So
I always got to
keep
keep
it professional. All this.
As being an MC, I've always been around.
Right.
I've worked with so many different stars and been at parties and so it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what? I used to sell drugs at the strip club.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew
You've seen
strippers
it all.
that work for me. So they be walking around, it's vagina everywhere.
Yeah.
It's butt everywhere. You can't be like this.
Yeah.
And you trying to make money. You gotta get used to it. The easiest way to get more vagina is to have vagina with you.
Right.
And to be able to be smooth with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now a woman's interested. Same thing with anything else.
Right.
You know, money, you got to have somebody to make some more money. Right? So, I kind of lost my train of thought. So
What happened at the job?
So I had an experience where I got really drunk and I became the real Ron in front of the girls I worked with.
So you ready?
We got the doors locked, we got the music vibing. One girl busting it wide open, I smacked her butt.
So they been on the too.
Go in the back room. Come back out. Give me some more tequila.
Damn.
Get running it up.
This is at work.
I got
How all this happened at work officer?
because you know, I worked at. I'm not gonna say the establishment.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm not gonna say the
Yeah.
establishment because it's local.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I worked at a place to where once they closed the doors,
Okay.
I worked with bartenders and some of the people.
Okay, so like
like
it's nightlife type
Gotcha.
shit.
Nightlife.
Nightlife.
Yeah,
Okay.
None of that makes
It's
sense.
like a club kind of.
Okay.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, being in that environment, and I turned it up, and I got a whole girl at home.
Right.
And she's calling, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be home in like 30 minutes. I'm already closed. 30 minutes turned into 4 o'clock in the morning.
Damn right.
So when I get home, I'm drunk as hell. The vehicle I got home is still on. I pass out in the vehicle.
Right.
She comes dragging me inside the house.
Right.
I piss on my own floor in my own house, and I lay in it.
Very frustrated.
You lay in it.
I lay in it and go to
And
sleep.
that pissing wasn't enough yet.
That pissing wasn't
Yeah, it looked comfortable. Yeah, you know, the only other story I ever heard of that was a girl that threw up and she laid in it.
Oh, that's
So
how
you were the only one.
That's how Jimi Hendrix died, though.
Right. Laid in his
He vomited.
Uh-huh.
He vomited and he choked on his
He
own vomit
yeah.
because he suffocated himself. He was laying in his own vomit. So that's crazy, right?
Yeah,
That's crazy
yeah.
work.
Crazy
On
work.
acid. And so another drug. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
sure,
So
sure.
that
I
incident
mean,
it
drugs
was
is big with musicians, man, and you know, artists. So
because, like I said, the angel of music was Lucifer.
right.
That's why the music is a thing. Like I said about the subliminal message.
Right.
Like I said, that like she asked me, is it hard in that environment? Absolutely. Because we're taught by the environment that's acceptable. You're gonna be in the studio smoking once because everybody else does. Peer pressure is a thing.
It is.
It's a thing. We lied on our penises. It's
Yeah.
you want to conquer every woman you can because
Yeah.
you look less than a man in front of
Yeah.
your boys if
Yeah.
you say you didn't hit it.
Be the man tough now. It comes
It
with,
is.
it's
Yeah,
tough, bro.
yeah. I mean, I ain't
You know, you can't cry.
I'm ready to
You
move
know,
on.
you got to stand up for yourself. You got to fight. You know what I mean? You got to
You
catch
gotta
your
show that you
emotion.
can
You got
do
to handle your business, take care of everything.
Take care of everything.
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 If you want to be a real man, you got to take care of everything.
Everything.
Well, that's why.
And even when the bank account is empty, they call you saying, what we going to do? You see the bank account. That shit is zero.
Girl.
Get
What?
money in there.
The kids got to eat.
Yeah,
What
right.
you got to do? You ain't got nobody to call. Well, you might got somebody to call my damn mama.
Mom, can you help me out?
Yeah, but everybody don't have that.
Everybody,
Sure.
a lot of people don't have that. That's a
And
blessing.
a lot of us have pressure that we don't deal with and decompress from. And that's why it's important to have your help me, because you need peace.
Right.
So you can deal with these things and be able to actually have emotional sobriety. Again, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind crying if it's worthy of crying. Like, when I start talking about my sobriety and I start telling some people about what the journey was for me, what it looked like, it gets me emotional. Because I'm happy.
Right.
Not because I'm
You get emotional now.
because I'm strong. Hell yeah, I get emotional. Because I'm strong.
Right, for sure.
See, a strong man can cry. If you can't, there's an old Japanese adage that says, never trust a warrior that don't cry.
Sure.
That's mad powerful.
Right.
You can't trust a warrior who doesn't cry.
Right.
Because you can't go through that level of trauma without having some sort of emotional effect.
Yeah.
You cut people's heads off.
You're crazy.
And you cut people's heads off and you go eat cereal.
Right.
You want some Jeffrey Dahmer type
right.
stuff. You got heads in the refrigerator. That's not normal.
Not
right.
And you don't have anything to let that off you. So it's good to be able to be in contact with that part of myself.
Did you go through any programs or anything, or just?
Yeah, I went through rehab.
Right.
I went to a rehab. I went to Baltimore. God is amazing, man. The Father is amazing. Because we people think they can't ask God questions. That's where they go wrong.
Right.
You want to have a relationship with God,
right.
ask him, but that's a lie. You want to have a relationship with God. He tells you in Isaiah, test me so that I might prove my word.
Right.
He wants you to ask him questions. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Father, what, so I've had that episode I was talking about. I wake up the next morning, I got a Dear Ron. I call it a Dear Ron instead of a Dear John.
Yeah.
I got a Dear Ron.
It was personal.
It goes together.
It goes
and
together.
you're an artist.
And I'm an artist. You already know.
You gotta do something to
You
it.
already know. Gotta flip it up.
Right.
So, and Ron, I can't deal with this no more, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what did she talk about? And then she details everything that happened. I don't remember being drunk.
You be listening like, what the fuck?
I had my pipe out at work.
Yeah.
Slapping girl, he was going down. I was doing pornographic stuff in the kitchen.
You holding your head down while you
going
reading it.
That was going. I mean, I didn't know the girls on my job. You know what I'm saying?
Good time overall. Didn't turn out well. And if I was if you going out and you better change your life, that might be the way.
That might be the way to go.
You know.
So I lose my lady. She was gone. And me, I'm a tough
How long
guy.
was you in the relationship?
Not that long.
Okay.
But I was crushing on
it.
I was crushing on it though.
Right.
I felt like I had head over heels love for her.
Right.
I never felt before.
Right.
Because just the person that I am. You know what I'm saying? But I was too tough to care. My sister, rest in peace to this, she was like, you ever thought about going to rehab? And every person, rehab? Boy, I ain't got no problem.
Right.
I ain't going to no damn rehab.
Right.
Boom. Click. I get in the shower. And I hear this in my head. That wasn't this, that was me. Like, who is this?
Shit.
You know who this is.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, God, if this you, give me a sign. Let me know this you. Again, that tested. Right? So that's on my heart heavy. I said, she tells me about this place. So I look up the place. Now, when I was in college, I did a short stint in college. I was working on a manifesto called From Caterpillar to Butterfly. Right? Stages of purity.
Deep shit.
Something that Dante and I came up with this concept called purity, where we were going to work on our physical bodies, work on our spirits, and work on clearing our souls.
Right.
Like cleansing, just overall cleansing.
Yeah.
And it's called From Caterpillar to Butterfly. I never completed the manifesto. I go onto the website. This was the manifesto was like 1998.
So this is going to be the structure on how to get to where you need to be.
From a caterpillar to a butterfly.
Right.
The chrysalis stage and all of that, going through the different stages, right? So I pull up the website, and the emblem is a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and I'm like,
oh man.
So God, you gonna send me to drug city for rehab? You gonna send me to the most arrogant drug centers in Baltimore? They don't care.
Baltimore.
That's wild.
Like I said, all that.
The drug game is bananas in Baltimore. When you go there, they telling you what they got. I got this, I got that, I got out loud. But they don't look at you. They like, you walking by and they'll just be like looking like this. Yeah, I got that weed out, I got grass out, I got that fire, I got juice, I got ready. Ready is cool as crack. I got ready, they got different slangs. It's not like here where there's trap houses.
Right.
Where you gotta go to a dealer and you might meet them at a place and no, it's not like that, boy.
No boy out there, right? This out
They out there. They at the corner store. They at the brand everywhere.
Right.
I'm like, God, you gonna send me to drug city for rehab? But he knew what he was doing. And he's like, where you were birthed, I'm gonna complete you. That's where I was born at. And I said, okay, all right, Lord, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give you 100 days, though. Yeah, God, I'm gonna give you 100 days. That's all I can do. I ain't about to be going up here having to share no room. You know, I did some prison time. Yeah. I ain't trying to. I didn't like sharing. I didn't like having. I didn't have. My brother wasn't my roommate when I grew up. I didn't want my brother to, you know what I'm saying, share a room with me. Me and my brother had separate rooms, you know.
And you already man, you better share a room again.
Exactly. Yeah. I got to smell somebody's feet or whatever you find, whatever the case may be, right?
That's the humbleness. You got to humble yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Bingo. That's why it ties into what she said earlier. Right. What happened in 2017, 2018 that transformed that? I lost that humility. Right. I started being arrogant and started being puffed up because I felt like I had a little.
You started believing the shit you were saying.
I started having a little something.
You know what? And that's real though. That's real. Because you do.
I started becoming. That's what happened to Pop. You can't keep saying die, I'ma die, I'ma die, I'ma die, I'ma die. You gonna die.
Right.
Not only do you believe it.
I thought about it like that.
Other people believe.
But you're right. He was a person
energy of belief.
So his death comes.
Belief is a thing. It's a power.
It's speaking of
the power of belief.
Right.
Believing it. Manifesting into it. Absolutely. So other people believe Pop, whether he did or not. He could have been blowing smoke for all we know. I don't think he was, but I'm just saying. But same thing with Biggie. You know, that's why you'll never hear me rapping about death. Right. It's just something I don't play with.
Yeah.
To get
your time is your time. I think when you talk about death and it happens, it looks like you manifested. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
Because I feel like nobody knows the time of day. So I really feel like, personally, that you can make decisions to lead you one way or the other, but I think it's going to happen when it's going to happen. It's just that the fact that you're talking about it, no matter how long you talk about it, when it happens, you're going to say, oh, the person
okay, but let's back up for a second. Do you believe in manifestation?
I do believe in.
What do you believe you can manifest?
I believe that speaking it and manifesting it means you're just driving towards it. So while you're speaking it, you're doing things to get you to that goal. You see what I'm saying? So you're speaking it, but you're doing more than speaking it. You know what I'm saying? It's like me saying I'm be successful. I'm be successful, but I'm going to work every day. I'm trying new positions. I'm doing all these things. So I'm speaking it, but I'm also putting in the work that goes with it.
Faith without works is dead. It's what the Bible says. But what you have to understand is he goes into, I can show you my faith by my works, which is what you're saying. Right. But what you got to understand is Pop did the same thing. Right. Because guess what? You ain't no gangster.
For sure. Yeah.
You ain't no gangster. You out here doing, you the star. Why are you walking like this in the MGM going to go fight when you got cats around you? You the money maker.
You a poet.
You the money maker though.
Right.
You the money maker. Yeah. They shouldn't even allowed you to be able to be in that position. They should have sent one of them goons out there. Go handle that.
They shut up, but that's Pop. Pop, you see how he did the thing in the...
But that was his work.
Right.
And you eat the fruit of your labor.
Right. And
so like you said, that was the works that backed up his manifestation. That, I'm going to die, I'm not going to live long,
what he do? The Tyson fight, what he do? As soon as he see the dude, even his beef is his crew beef. He the first one to run up on the boy, snatch the chain. All that shit has something to do with something.
Because he was in the trajectory of manifesting what he was speaking. Right. He wasn't living the Black Panther that Pac. Right. He wasn't living the Tupacalypse now Pac. Yeah. He was living the all eyes on me Pac. Right. And he got the all eyes on me Pac fruit. Right. If I plant an apple seed, what am I going to get? How do you know what kind of tree it is? By what fruit is on the tree. Right. If you tell me it's an apple tree and I go pick an orange off, I'm like, Travis, you lied. Right. I just bought an orange off. That's an orange tree. Yeah. So you reap the benefits of what it is you plant. Sure. And you planting is whatever you speak. And that's what manifestation is. Right. You're going to water it. You're going to water the seed. That's the word. Right. But you're speaking it too. But you spoke it. Right. And you put it in the ground.
And you believe it. You know, things are by faith as well. What you believe in your heart.
And you're going to work towards what you believe. Right. Now I believe in myself. One of my biggest problems, as much people that's told me I'm so dope, do I feel that about myself?
Right. And that's what matters, man.
Mm-hmm. What do I feel about Ronald? Right. What do I feel about Ronald? But if I'm ducking myself, I'm going to hit the bottom. I'm going to be smoking weed. And I don't want to deal with my own thoughts.
Right.
I don't want to deal with, yo, Ron, you ain't shit. Dog, you really could have been a better father. You know what, man? Why other people got more than you? It's the comparing thing. You got to get out of that. Now that I'm in a different place in my life, my energy, my glow is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Women came up to me and said, it's just something about you.
Yeah,
You're so attractive to me. I had like 3 women tell me I'm sexy.
Right.
It's something about you. You're just sexy. I'm like, girl, you better not stand with me.
Yeah.
Snake bite.
But and you can see that. Like when I saw you, you know, man, I seen you before. You know, you always been gifted, talented. But there is a different Ron. You know what I'm saying? The Ron I see now is healthy, energetic, more focused, more. You know, the blindness are always seeing everything. You know what I'm saying? And I can just see your stage presence. Like, this is really the first time we actually sit down and talk. You know what I'm saying? I done been around you. I know your brother well, but I have watched you and followed you as I follow the Koala. And you're a whole, and you know, when I saw you go to Baltimore, and I see you go through your transition, and you know, I was like, man, like, that shit, it was awesome, man. It was awesome. And for you, you know, it's awesome, man.
Thank you.
It's a good thing.
That's the perspective. That's again their perspective. And what we talk about manifestation and speaking that life into myself.
Yeah.
Speaking life into my situation. And believing in that and pursuing it.
Right.
So belief is an action word. So it means, like you said, you gotta do something.
Right.
You can't say, oh, I'm gonna be successful when you sleep all day.
For sure.
I'm gonna be successful when you wanna lay in your bed all day.
You can't do it.
No, you can't do that. You gotta get up. The successful man gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning. I didn't go to bed till like 4 last night. So I'm saying I wasn't up partying though. But guess what? I still got to do this podcast. Podcast and stuff. I won't be laying up under somebody's mama's cheeks.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But I got work to do.
Yeah.
What's more important? See what I'm saying? So in order for me to get to where I want to be, I got to put in the work.
And that's sobriety too.
Absolutely. And
it lets you follow your schedule. You don't get distracted. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you plan, you get it done. Because the alcohol didn't step in and say, hey man, fuck that. Go ahead and enjoy yourself a little bit. Goddamn, go ahead and get the cocaine.
Right.
You know what I mean? You work all week. You deserve it.
That bottle talk.
You ride and the song come on. You deserve it.
No,
you deserve it. Is it God talking to me? The devil? Who's somebody talking to me? I'm going to give me some cocaine.
Again, the music. Again, the music. Right.
Because what are most people listening to when they go rob a bank? They ain't listening to gospel.
Right. You put
know
on that.
Put on some trap.
Yeah, shoot that bitch in the face.
Yeah. I need something.
At the club. Tear the club up.
What about to happen?
Who running?
Oh yeah, who running to the jail?
I bet you won't hit him, mother man.
Oh.
3-6 Bobby did it.
Yeah.
3-6.
Clear the club.
There's a lot of open things that are for us to see that we don't want to accept.
Right.
Again, that's how you can deny the God in yourself.
Right.
When you're killing yourself, how the hell I can tell my brother I love him when I don't even love
myself? Right.
That's the difference. That's why what Apollo said to me, the love of life looks so good on you, bro. Man, listen.
Right.
Man, thank you, my brother.
Just worded like that.
It was yesterday. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, man, that makes me emotional. That's what keeps me going. Because guess what? I got a network around me like you that's giving me positive feedback on what you've seen in this limited time frame, right? Other people around me. And I still got my things that I got to deal with. Like I said, I still, one of my biggest addictions is women.
Right.
It always has been.
And you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
Why are we calling it an addiction?
Right. Well, yeah, you might be
hold on now. You got to.
I was a sex addict too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, I didn't.
It ain't just.
What's a sex addict? What makes a person a sex addict? Like you wake up all the time thinking of sex. You can't. I mean, like.
If you have sex with 3 women in one day and you still masturbate, you a sex addict. That's for example. 3 different women.
Right. Because you know
3 different women in the course of a 2-day time span, and you still find time. You don't need that.
Right.
You're just doing it because you want instant gratification.
I would have sex with 3 females and masturbate, but
you gotta sex. You gotta have sex with them.
I'll just be real with myself.
Because you gotta.
But I think what makes it an addiction is when it fucks up the function of your regular life. Like when it gets in the way of you taking care of
So you had time to have sex with 3 different women?
No, you're not going to. That's what makes it an addiction. Oh, Yeah.
You got so many other things you should have been doing
No,
with
if
that
I like, for real.
So you just had to day off.
Maybe I wouldn't
like,
masturbate. But I might.
Do you think it's the drug?
When you have an insatiable appetite for something, you need to check that.
Yeah, you can't.
Right.
Because you should have an appetite for the love. Your appetite should match what gives back, not what takes away.
What's not physical.
Well, what takes away is, I was telling the brother yesterday, when you're stagnant, you're dying.
Right.
You have to be constantly either going up or down.
Right.
If you just there, that's a problem. So if you're giving something
that's going down good either.
Going down ain't good, but moving is moving.
You moving,
but you're gonna go down. You gotta go down to come up.
Okay.
You didn't just keep doing this.
Right.
No, you're right. You
went down,
You like to start
because you gotta have that, because that's the balance.
Yeah.
I got a song on my new album. It's called Power Balances, and it's a balance. That's one of the strongest messages God ever delivered to me. He's like, the powers and the balance. It's the first time I ever audio heard his voice. I hear the voice of the Holy Spirit in my spirit and in my mind. But this time I was in a jail cell and I fasted for like 6 or 7 days. I'm laying on top of the cell and I heard it so strong, the powers and the balance. I'm like, is this you, Lord? Because that's not in the Bible. He said the whole Bible's about that.
Right.
The whole Bible's about power and balance. Balance. The scale doing this, that's true balance. If it's like this, that's not balance.
Right.
If it's like this, it's not balance. It has to slightly be moving. That's balance.
You feel like you're a prophet?
I definitely am a prophet.
I mean, because you speak on talking to God a lot.
That's
always.
always
I've been in a situation where I felt like God personally stepped in and intervened. I'm talking about like car accidents, like not like situation where I'm about to be in a car accident and I don't remember how I got out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? So but you talk about talking to God like a lot. It's all prophetess.
Well, I think what's important to understand, and you can confirm or deny what I'm about to say, something like going through sobriety, I think only God himself and building that relationship with him, along with maybe things that you've been taught to incorporate in your daily life, would get you to the point of sobriety where you've been at today, right?
Yes, but I've always had that relationship. If you go to listen to some of my first album, I speak about, I got a line. I thank God because he never left me. He kept me close. Always came through when I needed the most. I've always had a relationship. When I was a child, we had a rabbit that died, and I told my brother, pray with me for the rabbit and we'll bring him back. We can bring him back. And my brother, and that rabbit didn't come back, and I blamed my brother. I said, Mitchell, it's because you didn't believe. Because you didn't believe. You didn't have faith.
But you had this rabbit.
And my mom still talks about that to this day, but that's always been my core and what I've always felt. And every time I've been in a situation, I was a great thief.
Right.
I was good at anything I do because God. And guess what? Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Not at the end, not forever. Right. How could you dwell in the house of the Lord forever unless I was already in the house of the Lord from the beginning? It's forever means eternal. So therefore, yes, I'm definitely a prophet.
If that rap would have came back to life, I'd be killing it.
You
like, oh shit!
But when God stepped in and swerved that car though, you didn't pull it back.
No, I did not.
And you were sitting there sweating, saying, God, thank you so much.
I have like in my life, I have two or three situations where I divine intervention. Like really, I was not in control of the situation, and it really, I'm black. I mean, I've always been in the church. So of course I'm a Baptist, you know what I'm saying? I always believe in God, but there's certain situations that really, happened that I was like, man, and that's the only way it could be. That's the only way it happened. Like I pray every day about, being blessed, staying blessed. I ask for things, I don't know, man, but
But you ain't profiting. You ain't speaking the way you speak. That's what you're trying to say.
Right.
You're like, I do all of that.
I'm always talking
but it's not coming off like that.
It's the relationship.
Right.
It's the relationship. God wants a relationship. You said some key words that are not really that important to him.
Right.
Like the church The true church is the body of believers, not the building.
The church is within you.
Yeah, exactly. Not the building. God's right here in the midst of us as we talking about. Well, not, and this ain't the church, but this is the church.
Yeah.
If we start talking about it, we start praising Him right now.
Then
You and her,
right?
the
Right.
Holy Spirit
I think that's
step
what
in
the
and
church
make
is.
this
The church is, the like-minded people coming together and sharing, and even a lot of times people say preachers can be corrupt and all that, but I think it's the message. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter the preacher's corrupt or not. If you go to church and the preacher preach something that speaks to you, you know what I mean? Because he's speaking of the Bible.
Yeah.
He's speaking on the sermon. You know what I'm saying? And it really fixes you at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Talks to you or it gives you that solace. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think a lot of people say you don't have to go to church and stuff like that. But I think being in the house of God, being around people worshiping together.
You need the fellowship with other believers.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
You don't have
to go to
right.
church, but you need the fellowship with other believers. Right. There's a difference. You need to have that food because iron sharpen iron, and so a man
Right.
countenance of his friend.
Right.
That's in Proverbs. So if my iron is on rubbing against clay,
Yeah.
I ain't getting nothing from that. That's going to dull my belief system, which is going to
Sure.
pull me away from that relationship
Right.
with God. To have a relationship with the Father.
Right.
So it's like I check with him, and like since I've been here, I haven't really been on my dean like I need to be. But I check with him like, yo, Lord, I'm about to do this. David was a killer. And he said, you're a man after my own heart. But you can't build the temple because you got too much blood on your hands. Because the boy was a stone cold killer.
Right.
And people don't realize that about God.
Right.
Like he that powerful. He take a stone cold kid. Go down. Shall I go down there and kill them all? Yeah, kill everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't say don't kill the babies. He
But
said
there's
kill
a difference between the Old
everything.
Testament and the New Testament.
But what God says, kill everything. People have this thing about them where they put them in this UPS box.
Right.
That God's not going to say that.
Right.
Or that Ron can't hear from God.
Right.
No, I know it was God. Because I'm not going to tell myself to go to Drug City for rehab.
Right.
I'm not going to say that to
I
myself.
would have never done that.
I would never say that. Why? I don't even have a problem.
Yeah, it don't make
I went
sense.
from not even having a problem to going to Drug
It
City
don't make
for
sense, but
rehab.
it makes sense.
Right.
To having and saying, God, I'm gonna give you 100 days.
Right.
And after I got the 100, he said, give me 100 more. Then I got to that 100, he said, give me one more 100.
Did you have any slip ups? Or did you
I
go down
never
there?
relapsed.
You went down there with the message?
I
not
never
the message,
relapsed.
but the journey.
I never relapsed until this day. I've never
Man, that's
relapsed.
awesome too.
Never once relapsed. And I'm not bragging on that because relapse.
No, you should brag
Right
on
now
it.
I can hit that bottle.
Don't brag
You know
on it,
what I'm
but
saying?
like that, but take pride in that.
I
Because
do.
it can happen at any time.
But it's only through his strength. I rely on him like she said. My reliance on the Lord and my knowledge of that. Being strong takes knowing your weaknesses.
Right. Is it every day you try to prove to yourself that you can do this?
Every day I get up and knowing that today is a new day of challenge. And
Right.
today I gotta get through the day. And I have to be better than who I was yesterday.
Right.
That's it. And by me keeping that in my mind, what can I do differently today to be better than I was yesterday? And
Right.
taking each day at a time. Not looking at 20 years, looking at tomorrow. Looking at today.
Right. One
How does
step
Ron go
at a
to
time.
your world, my opinion,
Right.
and not drink? I know they drink on the show. How does Ron go perform with the band, and
Yeah.
I'm in this environment
Right.
where my friends have got vape pens with marijuana, people smoking blunts, they my family. I'm around drinks. People gonna try, may even say, "Can I
Yeah.
get you a shot?" And still get through that. You have to be prepared. You have to have an agenda. You have to be have mental stamina
Yeah.
in order to do that.
And I told Jessica, I said, man, we're going to test it. I'm going to get the dog loose. You have to do like this. I'm running this local. Twin D, you make music.
He said,
Hey, you pass. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm going to tell you 100 times on that, dog, because
she tested me more than that bottle is.
I know. That boy say you know how to do it
She
now.
tested me more than that bottle is.
I see you.
Out and all that.
You write that down.
No, she tested me more. But again, being mindful of your thoughts.
Right.
Being mindful of it. That's so big. Especially even as an MC. When we're doing it and we're spitting rhymes, I don't know if you ever tried to rap. How do you, like you said about looking at the monitor, I'm hearing myself, that'll throw a person out right there.
Right.
Talking on the microphone and hearing your voice,
Oh yeah.
that throws you off.
Yeah. I like hearing my voice.
If you can't, but some people throw
Because
it off.
I ain't a rapper though, so I got in their head or something like that.
You're like, yeah, I sound good.
That's how good.
But when you're doing it, you're giving a projection. You have to be mindful of thinking what you're thinking. You have to be able to multitask.
Right.
Think this, speak that, but still be aware. Same thing with your sobriety.
Right.
It's easy, and it all connects into your belief system with the higher power, no matter what.
Man, you know what, man? You know what I'm saying? We talked about that, man. Your journey. Congratulations, man. What's going on with the music, though, man? What's your next step with the music? What's the plan? What you got coming out, man? What you working on? You know, just let us know.
The Legend of Rappin' Ronnie, that's the new album.
The Legend of Rappin' Ronnie.
The Legend of
the
Rappin'
hardest
Ronnie.
names.
I'm trying to tell. Come on, man.
Go ahead, though, man.
The Legend of Rappin' Ronnie, that's my next album, my third installment. I got 2 other albums out. Like I said, I didn't do a plug yet, but you can check it out at the Koala522.com where all our music is up there.
Right.
Shout outs to me because I built the site.
Okay.
Another thing I'm proud of, that's not a talent of mine, but I
Okay.
took time to actually do it. The site's pretty comprehensive. I'm proud of the work that we did.
Right.
We want to be updating. But my third album, both my first 2 albums is on that site. My third album, The Legend of Rappin' Ronnie, is going to be coming out soon. I don't really have a date. I've been completed it. I completed it before I went to rehab.
Name all 3 of your albums and when they came out, and where your mindset was at when you dropped.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The first one is called, it's called The Blunted Koala.
Right.
Highly koalified. Highly koala. That's the name.
That's fire.
Saying,
Koala, koala.
and that's that again. I was in active addiction.
Right.
Highly
Right.
koalified.
Okay.
Yeah. That album drops in. Ooh, you testing my memory. I smoked too much weed back in the day for this. Basically, 3 years ago, and it dropped in May.
Okay.
It dropped on my birthday. So
Okay.
when I'm 48, it dropped on May 2022, May 13th.
So this is when y'all made that big movement.
When we did that big movement.
Right.
Yes.
This is when I first interviewed with Darnell.
Yes.
And then y'all been dropping every
dropping an
every
album
month,
every
right?
month, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you was winning the lineup. You came down with Tom Dirty. Y'all been, yeah.
And then my second album was called Baptized in Fire. That came out the same year, but it came out in December of 2022.
Okay.
I want to say 2022 December, if I'm not mistaken. Baptized in Fire, that album came out.
What inspired that?
Once again, I've always had a relationship with the Lord. Even in my sin and working better, you know what I'm saying? What inspired that is all the things that I've been through and still surviving. Like, I ain't supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
By the grace of Him, I'm here.
Right.
But if I would have, it's been several times where I shouldn't be dead or in prison or something like that based off just bad decision making. So that fire tested me, made me who I am today.
And
baptized in fire. That's what that
But
is.
even with that time, you still was heavily in drugs.
I was still in drugs. I was still in active addiction at that time.
Right.
But I've been struggling with it because the physical man fights with the spiritual man.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to give things up. The hardest thing, like I told you yesterday, cigarettes.
Yeah, that shit like crack.
Yeah, it's worse than crack.
And and the thing about with cigarettes, I figured, like, somebody a dude told me one time, he said, man, in order to quit cigarettes, he had to quit drinking. And like my brother saying when he quit everything, you the same way, quit everything, you know what I'm saying? I know he's smoking a cigar, which is, that's, but do you think can you quit cigarettes? I don't know.
You can quit cigarettes without quitting.
Quit drinking, but
to me they go hand in hand.
They do,
Because when you drink, you want to smoke.
and then you will not give a fuck. When you drink, you can say, man, fuck that. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I want a cigarette.
And that's the big key to why I focus on drinking as my main problem.
Right, because it's the one that says fuck
It was
everything.
the one that says exactly.
It is that.
Yeah, it was the gateway to
It
everything
is
else.
that. It is
We're
that.
trying to avoid. Yeah.
It make me loose enough to where I can smoke one cigarette.
Your inhibitions.
I smoke one cigarette, it ain't going. And of course I get triggered. You asked the question earlier. Yes, I get triggered.
Right.
Sometimes I get triggered. But to recognize that I'm being triggered and to have a contingency plan. Batman's my favorite superhero. Because he's a regular dude. He don't like the police. He don't got he ain't no alien from another planet that got superpowers. He just a regular dude who can fight. He got some bread and he don't mess with the police. But I love him because he's always smart, always ahead, step ahead.
Right.
You always gotta have a contingency plan. So when I know that I'm triggered by something, I got different ways to deal with the trigger. When I didn't realize I was triggered because I didn't even believe that I had a problem,
Right.
and I definitely didn't believe that something could trigger me. All of that was bullcrap to me.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So just being open-minded enough, willingness to accept those things and then to address it within myself, that was a process. And then to work it is a whole nother process. So when I'm in an environment like last night, I use my arrogance. I've always prided myself in being different.
Right.
You can have the same shoes as me, but you can't rock them like I
For sure.
You can get these same vibes I got on right now, and yours will not be. Because when I take these off, they going back in the box. They going about putting the stuff back in on there. I might wipe them down a little bit, and guess what? I pulled them out just because this is like the third time. I got them in February. It's like the third or fourth time.
You wear my finger, make you pull the thing out.
Yeah, I'm going on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Those joints I had on yesterday, I bought them last Saturday. The first time I wore them was last night. Put them on my way to the spot.
And one thing about being confident is, I think the difference is knowing you using it. You see what I'm saying? Like knowing that you're being confident for a purpose. Like separating yourself from, you know, like if I go, like say I'm gonna go, I feel good, I'm gonna do a show or something, whatever. I'm gonna be confident on. I know how to be confident on purpose. You see what I'm saying? To just do what I got to do, but it's still humble at the same time. You know what I mean? Like. I'm like going in a situation to be confident, but still recognizing how to move with the confidence.
No, yeah, for sure. Because like I'm super shy. So before the event yesterday,
really,
I was telling him, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so anxious." And he had to give me a whole pep talk. But you would have never known that when I came in there, because at that point we're on. This is business.
You definitely don't give me that vibe. So I would have never read that.
Now she's built for it, man. She's built for all this that we do.
And I'm kind of like you a little bit. And the thing I always tell people about being an artist and being on stage, there's never been a time before I get on stage that I don't get butterflies.
Right.
Ever since the first time, every time after. Right, until as soon as I say my first word, it goes away.
Right.
But that's still, and that is the same thing as
that's
combating drugs.
Right.
There's always going to be that struggle. You have to realize that's what makes us who we are.
Right.
The greatness of this. Guess what? You're growing against gravity. You start off this big and you grow. Guess what?
Gravity pushing you down.
Gravity pushing you down, but your body's pushing you up. Man. You're always combating something. You're always. I told somebody this, and this is a Mike Tyson quote. Discipline is hard now and easy gives you easy results later. Laziness is easy now and gives you hard results later.
Very true.
So guess what? We're born dying.
Right.
We're born. You got a certain amount of breaths, like he said. Right. You got an allotted time. So if you think about that in a scientific way, you got 225 billion breaths, for example.
Right.
When you reach that last breath, you dead. Right? So when you're born, when the doctor smacks your butt and you take that first breath, you are starting the process of dying.
Right.
So we can't look sad upon death because it's an inevitable fact. It's the thing that guaranteed will happen.
So with that being
said, you have to look at what is that resistance and what does it bring forth. Resistance is necessary. There has to be, again, that power in the balance. If there's nothing that's pushing against it, then you're not doing something right. If I don't got no haters, something ain't right. If the enemy's not trying to tempt me, I'm already doing what he wants me to do. If I don't know war, how can I respect peace?
Right, because you don't recognize it.
It's nothing to me.
Yeah, it's just.
See what I'm saying? I love Baltimore, but I miss this southern sun.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? I don't really I ain't too fond of the snow. You know what I'm saying? But as I was there, I'm like, I can't wait. And then it was cool, and so I've been here for a week, and it's been mild weather. I'm like, I didn't get the chance to go to the beach.
Right.
Cool, like, come on, man.
Because
that's what I was looking forward to. But again, there's that balance. There has to be that in order for you to appreciate something.
Right.
So everything that I've been through in life created the guy who's standing in front of you right now. Like you said, you're getting the best version of me.
Right, for sure.
So all the things, that's why I'm not ashamed to talk about the things that made my muscle. When you lifting weights, what is it? Resistance.
Right.
You're tearing muscle and then it rebuilds and gets bigger. Every time you tear it, break it down, it gets built back up.
When you're improving yourself and you're doing well, you want to talk about it. Especially when you go through something, you get out of it. It's like depression. When you get out of it, you want to tell people, like, you want to share it. You want to let them know, hey, I made it through this. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't think I could. You know what I mean?
There were times where I didn't want to.
There was a time, I didn't want to. It was difficult. And that's one thing about being black men. We don't want to talk about it. We're hard all the time. Depression ain't real. All this stuff that we're all dealing with
We hard
sometimes. All the time. You know what I mean?
And the most miserable people on the planet.
Right. This is one of the things. So with you being, and I'm actually Jessica too. I mean Jay. I'm actually too, but my wife want me to be. She said she's gonna cremate me, right? And her reason for cremate, because I grew up being buried. You know what I'm saying? Have me a plot. I'm gonna be buried. You know, if my family member want to see me, they can come in and have that. That's their place. That's how I look at it. Her. She look at it as if when you do that, then you feel like you have to go somewhere to meet the person, rather than the person always with you. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about
if she cremates, she gonna ride around with the ashes? Like
no, she's just saying that you live within the person. No, you throw the ashes away.
Okay.
You know, you release the person.
Okay.
You know, you don't hold on.
Within your spiritual.
It's yeah,
absolutely
spiritual.
I would agree with that.
Right, I agree with that. But then my argument with her is like, yo,
it don't matter if you're buried or not, though. If you're buried, you're still with her spiritual.
Right,
so
right.
Cremation and burial doesn't determine that. Yeah.
But she's saying when you're buried, you feel like you have to go there to be with the person.
I mean, I guess.
But at the same time, that's solitude. That's a place you can go.
Yeah.
That just belongs to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
but the body of the person is there, but the animation isn't there.
Yeah.
This isn't who you are. You might not have peeped this lyric last night. Infinite being of light. This body's just my shell.
Yeah.
This that God flow. Stimulated chakra. God glow.
Yeah.
The Masonic brother in the back said, yo, you on your square? And I was like, what? He was checking me because he heard me say, yo, the Grand Master hits.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they got different stages and levels. When I say Grand Master, it's in the ding, but he also heard me say infinite being of light.
Mm-hmm.
This body's just my shell. Like a turtle got a shell, like a snail. When a snail grows, he leaves that shell. He finds another shell that fits for him, jumps into that shell. And I'm not going to go into reincarnation and all that, but what I'm saying is, this ain't you. Trav is the animated that when he breathed the breath of life into you, that gave you became a quickening being. Quickening, that's the animation. So when you die, your spirit leaves the body, the shell, and it goes back to where it came from.
Energy.
Whatever you want to call it, energy, the higher, however you look at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to where it came from. Right. And we know science says energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Right.
So therefore, you really can't die.
Right.
Your body dies. I'm an infinite being of life. I'll always be here. I've always been here. That's why I know things I don't know how I know. Yeah. You have a certain intuition, because a lot of women, we got women's intuition. We got intuition too. That's me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, that's the first time. That's the first time I ever heard that. Is men have intuition.
We have intuition.
I knew we do, but I never heard a man say that.
The difference is we're not. Intuition is a feminine energy, meaning it's not. Feminine is not per se connected to the sexual.
Right.
Okay. Feminine is the opposite of masculine.
Oh.
That's it. Okay, so
being in tune with it.
Being exactly. So a woman, by her her biological nature, is to be a nurturer.
Right.
She has a cycle that happens.
But what about when
she's
they say
designed to be more responsible than you are as a man because she's built that way.
Right.
Scientifically. All right.
What about when they say that you're tapping into your female side? Or what is it? You're tapping into your energy.
And that's kind of like emotional sobriety.
Right.
Like
I just want to say it like that.
I don't mind it. I'm so confident in my sexuality that I feel fine if I cry.
You know
what I'm saying? I feel fine. I don't feel. I'm not homophobic. As long as you don't violate me.
Right.
I don't care what you do. That's you and how you operate. It kind of like, yo, what the hell are you doing? But that's not my problem.
Who they are.
Yeah. But ultimately, being in contact with your feminine side is just being balanced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And knowing that, guess what? When you love on your children, you got kids, right?
Right.
You're displaying a form of feminine energy.
Right. I'm around girls all the time, man. I'm around them all the time.
Exactly. And you have a certain pride.
I manage females. I got females in the house. I have a female dog.
Because you got Playboy energy.
Right.
You give me Playboy energy.
I don't think it's Playboy. I think when I don't know, man. God has placed a lot of women around.
You're a smooth talker. You're a smooth talker. You're malevolent.
I enjoy.
You know how to make people laugh. It's something that y'all have in your family.
Right.
It is the same way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. and y'all have a certain way of displaying yourself.
I appreciate that.
That makes you easy to talk to.
Right. Right.
And so because of that, and that is a gift from God.
Sure.
But because you have that energy, that's why you're doing this podcast.
Sure.
That's why you're a supervisor at work.
Right.
Because people can feel like they can come talk to you about something, and you're going to solve the problem.
And I know that about myself.
Yeah, and that's an awesome quality to have, and it's a dope trait. And you now the power in that and the balance in that feminine side is that's a feminine energy. Not that we look at feminine energy and we think,
nigga, I don't like it.
yeah,
You already know I don't like it.
Yeah, it is.
But see, I get in my feelings now.
Right.
All
And
the
that's
time.
a feminine energy.
You know what I mean?
Man up, don't get your feelings.
I can't get emotional about that.
You can.
I'm passionate.
You can, and
But
that's
it's don't
I'm
get
feeling all my movements right now is looking gay.
It's a feminine
and it's
energy.
okay.
You man back up. No,
I'm very-
man up.
I'm very emotional. I hate that version of myself. I'm too tough to cry. I never forget something. And this is the moment I'm gonna share with y'all. It's very private to me, but I'm sharing it anyway because people can
Appreciate that.
My daughter's birthday party. I want to say it was her 16th birthday party. And they were out there doing that song. I don't know if y'all probably remember. Do the stinky leg. And she was like, Daddy, come on here and do the stinky leg with us. Like, I don't do no stinky
That
leg.
moon dance. That's what
I don't do no stinky leg with it. I was too tough to make a memory with my child.
Right.
That's when that whole thing goes the wrong way.
Right.
I should have went out there and do the thing,
Right,
and let them laugh at me and build that memory with my daughter.
It's crazy to
and
look back
bond
at that
with
and
her.
see that and remember that and remember you missed that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because God will bring everything to your remembrance. And in order for me to do better going forward, I got to know what I did wrong. I got to really be a man about it and say, you know what? You did this wrong.
Right.
Don't be afraid to confess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many men going to say they got beat up on a podcast and the world going to say?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I don't mind.
I done gave plenty of ass whippings too.
And everybody have them.
Yeah,
You're not gonna win everything, man.
Right.
I feel like when you do that and you show your vulnerability, I feel like people can relate to you. People can trust you. People can say, "Hey."
And real ones respect it.
Respect
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Real
because
respect.
it happens.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the emotional sobriety.
Right.
You know you want to cry about something. You can't tell me as a man that you've never had anything that you. And I'm not talking about crying because of pain.
Right.
I'm talking about an emotional
Crying, crying. Your feelings.
emotional pour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get like, when I saw my daughter graduate, I was proud.
Right,
And it
right.
made me well up inside,
Right.
but I held it back. I didn't cry because I was too tough.
You get that
to cry.
choke up.
Yeah.
I almost cried last night when Darnell did this song.
Right.
Because it touched me.
Right.
He's my brother. I'm
Awesome,
proud of him.
awesome.
I love that he's a married man, that he has that connection with his wife.
Right.
I admire
Yeah,
it. I
that's
see how she's
beautiful.
made him a better man.
Yeah, right.
I tell her, thank you for making my friend better.
Better. Right.
I'm not one of those guys you gonna go hang out with and cheat on your wife. I don't
Right.
tolerate certain things.
For sure.
Because I'm a man of integrity. And I've always been that.
Yeah.
When I was in active addiction, I was the same way.
Yeah.
There's just certain things you don't do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna look in your face and I know I was with him last night,
you want
snatching
some
girls on the butt or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. That's not. I'm too true. But that makes me.
You
Running,
gotta
go on.
stay home.
That's
If
real
you wonder
shit.
why you're not getting back.
It makes me lonely though, because all my homeboys
Right,
are my wingmen.
right.
So now when I'm out at the spot,
The worst wingman
I find
ever.
myself because I don't got a wingman.
He coaching you.
Yeah, I ain't got
What
no
you
wingman.
doing, man? What you doing?
Well, I don't do that. It's more along the lines of I'm not participating with you.
I feel
right,
you.
That's what I'm not going to do.
You ain't want to be
If
no part of
you,
it.
if you do
Get
it,
out
you
and
do
see
that.
that, right.
But I'm not
Don't do
going
it
to.
around me.
I'm not even going to
Or
say
with
that
me.
to you around it like that. But I'm not going to be running distraction with the friend of the girl you trying to hit so you can hit it.
Right.
You got a wife at home.
Right.
Like, dude, what the hell you doing?
I had a homeboy like that. I done been, back in the day when I was in high school, and been in situations and he coaching, man. You got a girl, man. Why you? I'm like, I'm looking over my shoulder.
What are
like,
you talking about?
Why is you doing
Why
that?
are you doing this?
Nah.
You making me think about what I'm doing.
Right. But that's kind of good though.
It is good.
It's good.
It's
You
a
need
good
people like that in
thing.
your life.
You need the friend who's gonna say,
Who
yo,
gonna tell
you
you
got
the
a
truth.
booger in your nose.
Right.
That's a real friend.
Right.
Yeah.
You let me walk around with a booger in my
Around.
You
nose.
telling people, but you ain't telling
You
me.
can't tell me.
But I do want to know, what was the answer to the question? Are you on your square?
Yeah, she's very observant.
Right. She said,
what are you trying to
see
say?
everything.
Yeah, she sees everything. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course, yes. And I answer them the same way. And I did tell them, yes, I'm always on my square. It has to be that way. That's why I'm sober.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause the square is still 360 degrees. The square is.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So when you understand the science of 490-degree angles,
Right.
4 times 9 is 36,
Right.
360. Ding, 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 ding,
Ding,
ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding.
You know what I'm saying? A square can fit a circle within it. So yeah, all of those things. Yeah, so of course I'm on my square.
Okay.
You know, it go without being said.
We
See how I move.
It's just
We
curious.
we never get to the third album, man.
Yeah. The third album.
Legend of Rap and Ronnie.
This is already
That's
out.
the name of it.
It's coming out. Remember, we don't have the date yet.
We don't have an actual date. I could give you a date, but I'm not sure because I'm gonna put it, promote it, and push it right.
Do it right.
I'm doing
Don't
wax
give a date.
for it. I'm gonna have a
You know
little.
what?
I'm
Give a
gonna
date.
send you a little. I'm gonna send you an actual little.
I appreciate
a
you.
doll because
Yes.
the album cover is gonna be. You know, back in the day we had those little pull string dolls.
Right.
Well, Rap and Ronnie is like going to
I love
be.
it.
But the album cover is a bunch of manufactured dolls that all are Rap and Ronnie, and it's those dolls.
Yo,
I'ma
that is
You gonna send me a dog?
I'm
Yes, he's gonna send us a dog.
I'm trying to get
Us
to
a
that.
dog. We a dog.
I'm gonna get a Funko bobblehead,
Man.
and I'm gonna bring you one so you can have it up for yourself.
Go ahead and give us a date. Only reason I like dates is because I know if you give a date, you're gonna work. I mean, I know you're already gonna do it, but dates makes you work towards something.
October.
October. All right. That's all.
And that is the projected date
Right.
right
Yeah,
there.
And that's good. That's good.
We just haven't. It's not at the place where we want to promote it.
For sure.
And we normally promote it. The
You know,
album
you
is
run
done.
my opinion exclusive. What the name of the album is?
The Legend of Rap and Ronnie.
Coming out
Released in
sometime in October.
Yeah,
There you
October 2025.
Man, we gonna close
We're
out.
gonna have wax.
I want to know the
Let's
concept
go, let's go.
of the dolls, the mini doll. What?
Let's do
Legend
that.
of Rap and Ronnie. Okay, now we got all these dolls.
Cause
What's
it's
up?
like, you know, I hated that name, Rap and Ronnie. I was offended. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Black Baron. That was another one of my rap names.
Black Baron.
I'm the Black Baron. This is back then.
Yeah.
And it was like, and so cats in Somerville, like from the Robinwood side of town,
Right.
they knew me. They be like, you know, they be like, you heard Ronnie? Ronnie, who's Ronnie? Who's Ronnie? You know Ronnie, you know Lil Ronnie. Lil Ronnie. Rapping Ronnie. Oh, rapping Ronnie.
Yeah.
Gotta ring the bell for
Right,
that.
right.
When they say rapping Ronnie, they affiliated rapping Ronnie with me.
Cause you be rapping your damn.
So that's why I said the legend of rapping Ronnie, because it would be said like that. So the dog comes into play because it's just more like it's almost a manufactured moniker. It's a manufactured thing. I'm still Ronald Aaron Johnson.
That's
That's
hard.
me.
I
But
yeah, I love that.
rapping
That's
Ronnie is a
hard.
moniker. Thank you.
That should touch our generation. You know what I'm saying? It really speaks on, you know, y'all music and what it's for. You know what I mean? It's for our age. I mean, everybody can enjoy it, but it's retro. When you said that, dog, it was like, God damn, boy, that shit. I want to put that shit like that.
Oh, I'm gonna get
Cause you said the video. I'm trying to have. I'm real retro.
I see that.
I love retro.
I see that. That's the first thing I thought when I came here. I see
Real.
the
Michael
Ghostbusters.
Jackson.
I see.
You know what I mean? Akeem from you know the Ghostbusters. All
Coming
that,
to
man.
America,
Coming to
yeah.
America. All that, man.
I ain't noticed that Akeem. Yeah, you right.
Yeah.
The necklace and the hat.
Okay.
Fuck you, dude.
Yes.
Fuck
I'm gonna
you.
bring you definitely get y'all a Funko doll
For
to
sure.
represent for the
Man, I really would love that, dog.
And I'm having some wax, commemorative wax that I'm doing. So this album's actually going to be on record.
Okay,
Wax form.
nice. Yeah.
That's just
And records
for my
come
own
back. I got a
pride.
record player now.
That's what I'm
They brought
saying.
it back, right?
That's just for my own pride because I always wanted a
Some
record.
on wax.
I always wanted
Damn.
wax, so I'm gonna go get an actual wax.
What did it take to do that? Cause I ain't even thought about that.
There's
That's
a few companies that press them. There's just one place that I'm gonna go to that you can actually. Cause I'm gonna do that album and I'm gonna do a commemorative album, which is gonna be a mix of songs from all three of my albums.
Right.
It's gonna be a live recording. So I'm actually gonna go up there to the studios in North Carolina where they record the live band straight to wax.
Right.
Oh,
So we'll
yeah.
actually go into the studio with a live band, microphone, run that joint, and we're going to have another show at the spot. It's going to be in July. We don't have a date locked in yet to shout out that.
Yeah,
the
let
same
us
spot we was
know.
at last night. Thai Taco.
Taco,
We're doing
yeah.
another show there with the band and everything. The whole
Yeah, let me know.
in July.
Yeah,
we definitely gonna let y'all know. But you take the band into that studio, you record right to wax. So I'm doing that too. In that same studio, I'm gonna allow them to press the wax.
Right. And you know, everything about your movement is retro. You know what I mean? It speaks. It just, you know, the album cover with the live band, the soulfulness. You know, mixing the lyrics with the live band, man. Nobody is doing that. I really think that the core. I really think that is y'all niche.
It's like timeless music. You know what I'm saying? It's something that really, you know, from my mom all the way down to my son could be, you know, bopping.
And it across all generations. Like,
yeah,
anybody can listen to it. Your great grandmama can listen to that shit.
Well, the thing about it is what we're trying to do too is like, there's no place for people like our age to go. Like, there's no real, like, I felt good at the spot.
Y'all created that last night.
Like, well, I felt good at that spot though.
No, yeah.
And having that kind of environment
right.
where, you know, you might go into something. If I gotta go into a place and, like, you know, just listening to mumble rap, no disrespect to mumble rap, it's just not my thing.
But they had that for you in the middle.
Yeah. They got something for everybody.
Right.
They got something for everybody.
They got something for everybody. And so, but have that kind of environment of what the music that we present. There's nothing like that there's no place like that where we can go and get that kind of vibe on a regular basis.
Right.
So
y'all embody that shit.
And that one, I forget the guy who said it, but if you're looking for what the person you're looking for, become that person. He said that. Tony Gaskins, I think that's his name.
I don't remember his name.
But he said something like, if you want to, the person you're looking for becomes that person. And that's how you, and so it's the same thing we're doing with this. Like, because I want to go out and hang out. Like, I'd love to go to a spot tonight and chill. Well, where's the lovely ladies going to be at? Because there's some beautiful women in Charleston, you just can't find them.
I think if y'all,
but they was out. They was out last night.
Somehow, if y'all can get a spot and create that every night or every weekend or whatever, I really think that it would transition into something. You know what I mean? We all do it is different from what everybody do.
We got blackballed a lot because we are arrogant. We're not Charleston.
Right.
And this happened since back in the day. Because we was, I used to be on the radio all the time. Right. We hosted the 9 at 9. We was on
back in the day though, we know
100.9.
The radio stations, even now, they still they like that shit. They want that.
They do want it. But once we've always been a little different, and it doesn't get accepted everywhere. Right. And you know what I'm saying? You know my brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a little bit lighter skinned. You know, we have that colorism within our own race.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You might go to a certain
I tell light skin jokes all the time.
And ain't nothing wrong with it. I love it.
Easier.
I love it. See what I'm saying?
Y'all go get a job.
House Negro.
All right.
You go get a job, you might get it over me because, you know what I mean? If we say the same thing, this nigga get the job.
Yeah, I'm getting the job. You ain't getting the job.
But if there's a white dude beside him, then he can get the job. Right.
And so because of those things, we battle against that too. Right. So it's and people don't want to see you. It's like crabs in the bucket.
Yeah, they put that in us.
So I would love for us to get. I wish we were able to lock down a spot.
Man, I'm telling you, I feel like
over the time.
I feel like if y'all do that, that would actually transition everything y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Because we really enjoyed that shit last night. And I think that's something that everybody would enjoy all the time.
And it's only going to get better. Because I would never diss anything that we did, but that was probably,
even the shit y'all do. Even when y'all do the shit over there by the lab. You know, over there by my music stand. Over there.
Yeah.
You know, y'all right there in the middle of nowhere. My boy set up the co-op sign, the backdrop. Yeah. And go off just like that.
Yeah, we go in. We did a show at the Poorhouse that was really dope too.
Oh, I love the Poorhouse. You did?
Yeah, we did a show with the band at the Poorhouse.
How long ago was
that? Really dope. About 2 years ago, maybe.
Y'all gotta get back out there.
Yeah, we do. And we you know, big thing is staying consistent. We're all grown men.
True.
Families. We're at a different stage in our life. When we were, 17, 16, we had nothing else to do. Now you gotta go to work every day. And there's no excuse. But it makes it a little bit more difficult to get everybody together when they got You know,
a lot going
making
on.
6 figures.
But y'all make it happen,
making a
though.
lot of money. Some
Yeah,
cats not.
yeah.
So we take time to. We love it.
Y'all take
We
time
love
a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
Y'all really get together a lot. You can tell even with y'all how y'all do things, how y'all still do things.
Yeah, the cohesiveness. You can
Cohesiveness,
see the
right.
brotherhood between all of you.
And that's
you
just
know,
difficult.
on and off stage.
It is.
You have
30
to be-
years.
You have to
Yeah,
be-
it was
30
beautiful
years.
to
One
see.
thing I'm so happy about my guys about, and even in this journey of sobriety, we always support one another. And if you do something that's not right, we're gonna clown you.
Yeah.
We're gonna laugh at you. We're
Right.
gonna make jokes.
Yeah.
And we keep it here. You
Right.
can't do it because then we
Right.
all gonna turn on you.
Right.
Right.
But amongst ourselves,
Right,
we
right.
keep it in here and
Right.
we just do that.
Right.
That's why we
Even
got.
talking
right.
about how y'all battle rap each other sometimes when you real mad. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Go ahead and get it
All
out.
the music is about us, each other.
Yeah.
That's what he said, which I
Everything you
love.
hear- Everything you hear what we speaking about, like if you listen to the song that Darnell said about my honey, he said, honey man, that's what Ronnie called.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I literally would call it like, oh, here you go, this honey bull crap. Oh, honey, about honey. And that's why, and then he came up
Yeah.
with the song,
Yeah.
my honey, because I call him honey man.
Right.
So we
so y'all be
feed off
feeding off each other, trying to.
Yeah.
And he said that. He said
Boy,
we'll
don't make
tell
a song
inside
about that
jokes,
one right there.
and then we'll come and create a song with it, and y'all really enjoying yourself.
We
Like
compete with
it's
each
about
other.
the journey, man.
Yeah.
It's not no destination.
No.
The journey is what it's all about. You know, when you do reach success, that's when everything kind of people go their own way and all kind of shit. Or things come into it that wasn't there.
The greatest thing that ever happened to us was not getting record.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is success for them?
The
Actually?
greatest thing that happened, we always wanted to get a record deal. Imagine us getting a record deal and say at the height of us really doing our music, which was probably late 90s, early 2000s, we would have been in such an environment as Death Row Records and Bad Boy Records.
Right.
And just in that time, Wu-Tang Clan, like these guys in that era of music
Right.
was a very dangerous setting, much more than
Really?
now,
Right.
today's setting.
Right.
So I really believe that the higher power preserved us to a degree. Because I know I probably might have overdosed or something
Right.
if I'd have been there.
For sure, and that's
You know
the
what
thing
I'm
about
saying?
people don't understand
Or
that
been in prison for life. Or,
growth. Like you don't want to reach that kind of success until you grow.
Yes.
Until you get to a point where you think you can handle it. Because you know, even where you at right now, even where I'm at right now, I'm more mature, drug use, all that stuff. But it's still a test.
Yeah.
When if you do reach that success, but like I always tell them, boy, it's not about the success, it's about the journey, man. It's about the camaraderie, the working together, the doing things together, man, and just enjoying that. And if success comes, it comes.
Yeah.
But we gonna strive for it, man.
Yeah. But I mean, what would you do right now if you had 100 million?
I don't know.
That's the question. It's like, are you the same
I
person?
think that, I
Do
think
you
that
have
all
the
the
same
time.
character? Do you have, what does your integrity look like? In truth be told, a lot of us just ain't ready to do it.
Right.
And that's just the
Right.
real reality of it.
Right.
Because the Father wants to give you all things, but He's not going to give you what you can't. So when you're not even grateful for, again, I can't even love Ron. How can I love my woman?
Right.
One of my things is I be lonely. That's what pushes the playboy in me.
Right.
Because I'm searching for it. But then I got to a place now where I'm like, yo, I like being by myself.
Right.
Not single wise, but like, I like my peace.
Right.
I want a woman, but if she, soon as you start doing something like, you got to go.
But see, we can't be like that.
But I know,
Yeah,
I know,
you
but
can't be
I
like
know,
that.
Because you do have to,
you gotta
you have
negotiate.
to negotiate and compromise.
And I know, and
You know what
again,
I'm saying?
but I know that that's what I'm saying. I know that I gotta get to that place.
Level. Right. You got
And I'm slowly getting there now that I have emotional sobriety.
right. Because now you're in tune with what's going on. Yeah, man.
And I'm
You
in
know?
tune with how I
Cool.
feel. I gotta stand in tune.
Right.
You know, and the dating pool got piss in it. So when you're out there, I mean, hey,
How long has this been?
yeah, piss in it for a while, as far as I know.
It might have
It's
always
always
had
had piss in it.
Yeah,
It's always had piss in it.
Oh,
I mean, the thing that kills me is you got, and this is in the shot that nobody you know. You got your married guys out here with 2 or 3 girlfriends, and so the single guy can't really get in.
yeah.
And then you got the other guys who like do stuff like, you know, you're being forceful with kind of, for lack of better terms, 'cause I don't like to cuss too much,
Right.
erotic photographs that you might be
Erotic photographs. You gotta live seeing some shit.
Sending pictures of your
freaky ass shit, but you think it's all elegant.
It's it.
It
really ain't that freaky.
Erotic photograph.
I'll do it if I already had sex with you. You know what I'm saying? Then I might surprise you with a kinky pic like, I was just thinking about you. That's still nasty. That's a magazine. When you're doing it to chicks who you don't even know,
right? Yeah,
that's like, and I found this out. Like, hold on, cats be doing that,
man. Do what?
Sending pictures of their penis to women that they don't know. Like on a dating
that they've never been with sexually.
Right. Yeah, or that they've never been with,
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You may casually know her.
Yeah,
Just seen her on y'all Facebook friends.
I never did it.
Inbox.
Sure.
I never did it.
But yeah,
I have the short man complex. Do you have a short man complex?
Yes.
Right. And one of the things about having a short man complex is you have to accept that.
You have short man
complex. You have short man complex. It will help you through life. When people, they come out, yo, I have a short man complex. Oh yeah, sure. I have a short man complex.
That's why I'm doing that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of them things that I don't think I ever did. But especially a random person. It had to be something, somebody I know.
Well, that corrupts the ability for a success. That's why the dating pool has pissing.
Right.
As soon as you start talking to a female,
why you say that?
Because as soon as you start approaching a woman, we're in an era today where I'm from the old school. When you say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Ron. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
How you doing today? You create conversation.
Right.
And you start engaging her, and then you may ask for the phone number. You might buy a couple drinks or see what she's eating. Now, because of the social media and all that, it's like this very dry, intangible meeting ground where it's like you can hide behind your phone and be a little coward.
Right.
And you're like sending you're like, oh well, and
you don't have no conversation.
You don't have no real conversation. You don't have any swagger.
Yeah.
Fear always loses. I was telling somebody earlier today, she was like, what do you mean? Fear always loses.
Right.
Because you're so like for me, for example, my biggest fear now when I'm meeting a woman is I don't have time to waste.
Right.
I'm at a place in my life where it's like, I'm dating with purpose of marriage, right?
Right.
So I don't have time to be sitting up here playing the penis and the vagina game with you, sweetheart. Like, we grown. If you're going to do it, a woman knows within the first 20 seconds of her talking to you whether or not she would have sex with you. It doesn't mean she's going to have sex with you that night, but she already knows whether I would have sex with him or I wouldn't have 15, 20 seconds.
Right, you're right. They nobody want
30 seconds. No, I'm saying just generally speaking.
Right.
She can encounter you with your homeboys or whatever, never met you before. And the first 30 seconds, she'll know, she can get a readout that tells her, I would never have sex with that dude. Or I might give him some.
Right.
She's not that saying that she's going to do that.
Yeah.
But she knows whether or not she
But that's the
would.
difference between talking yourself into and talking yourself out of it. If she wants you,
most definitely.
Right, you talk yourself out of it.
But what I'm trying to key in on is the fact that we are grown, and at a certain level, I don't like wasting my time. Like if I meet you and you don't have time to date, just say that. If you're in this and you are really in it just for to get sexual pleasure, just say that. If you in it because you want to get free dates, just say that. Because I might be willing to entertain that because I want somebody to kick it with.
Right.
I
But
might
this
say,
is the second thing you done said that is different. You said that you're out here to find marriage.
Yeah.
Dating to marriage.
Dating to marriage. Now that's something I never heard from a man. I always say that from a female. Like I'm out here for a purpose. I'm trying to find my mate.
So, and what I'm saying is the fact that I say that, no one believes me. So if I go into a female, right, and I see
you love sex now, you love women. You say you love women.
I love women.
You love women. You love sex.
I love the smell. Both. I love the smell of a female. I love how they.
He needs the woman to have it because he ain't dating. You already said that. Now. Come on, man.
I love everything about women.
I'm just saying.
He don't want no dog.
I love women too.
He want a real woman.
I love everything you said.
Last night, I have my boundaries. Like, okay, I went over to the other side where they had the ratchet music. They had this one little girl and she was throwing it. Right. I was like, I like how she moved. Unfortunately, she's too young for me.
Right.
I'll ruin your life, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might entertain it, but I can't entertain it. I gotta set my own boundaries. That's what I mean when I say I love sex. At a certain level. Yeah. I mean, if you the age of my daughter, I can't bang you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You gotta be at least like 30 or better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For me to really entertain.
Yeah.
Every now and then I might be like, oh dad, she 29. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right,
but then I'm
right,
still
right.
like, I can't really relate to her. You
Right.
listen to mumble rap and you want to look at the videos of the dude popping the balloon. I don't even understand that crap. The red balloon thing, they walk in there, I'm like, and it's so funny. I'm like, can we go ahead and just bang and get it over with? Cause
All right.
Well, you know why?
It's different.
You know why men like younger women more than older women? And I get this from my brother. Is the fact that when you know, for him, when you talk to older women, you don't get it's business. It's always like with younger women it's gonna be fun. Fun. It's gonna be fun. Let's go to have a good time.
I'm not co-signing this, baby.
I'm gonna say we should.
No, I feel you.
Like I said, and you know what, Bubba, you know, he be out there making, you know, see him, you know what I mean? Mr. I don't get tired. You know what I mean? He don't
Are
get
they
fucked.
really fun though? Like let's what does that look like?
But at the same time, so
it's not really fun. They're ignorant and they don't require as much. They don't ask for much.
He didn't like that.
No. It's not that it's just the truth. It's just the truth.
That's not what the dynamic of it with his explanation for. His explanation, like, you know,
describing it as one word, but that's what it really is.
But at the same time, you might want to get away from. You want to enjoy.
It's serious with the older woman.
It's serious
because they're more than likely dating to marry. They've been through more experiences. They're going to have certain conversations with you and require you to be possibly more vulnerable than someone who's younger who really doesn't care how you feel. As long as you taking them out and making them happy or, you know, satisfying them in the way that they require, they don't want nothing else from you. They don't want to meet your mama them. They don't really care about none of that.
Yeah, they want to
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it is. It's less accountability for a man.
To throw a dagger.
Which is fun.
To throw a slight dagger because I am the president of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Much as I love women. Remember the little rascals? Just throw a dagger and not to disrespect. I agree with you. But what I want to throw the dagger at is the women that are in like their mid to early 30s, mid 30s are way more sexually free than the women in my era.
True.
All right. So that for me
sure.
is like, you know, like that's the era. They're a little bit more sexually open.
Mm-hmm.
Then the women in my era are still kind of like old school with it, so it's like boring. They're kind of, and it's not. And it's interesting because of a theory that I personally have is a woman to do anything you really want her to do.
Oh, that's my
You just
theory.
gotta get her to do.
You gotta figure out
how to get her to do.
Patience.
You know what I'm saying? And so some of them might be like, "Oh, I ain't doing anal." Like, and one girl told me she don't give head. I was like, "They still make your model?"
Yeah.
I thought that was discontinued. I thought your model was discontinued in the street. They still make. This is sweetheart. We ain't even got nothing to talk about.
They still make them.
I can't believe that because guess what? For me,
he said, "I can't believe
for me,
that."
you automatic. That's already that's unacceptable. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care.
Agree.
I'm not even with none of that.
Right.
So and so I think that part too, and like you said, the laughter. Because I've dealt with some younger chicks, and I'm like, yeah, but then I'm also like, you know, like she said, where's the maturation of concern for what we looking at? When you're engaged and think about getting married to a woman, there's certain things you should know. Like, I need to know what your spending habits look like.
Right. And the sex is the last thing. See, you see what I'm saying?
Us, we don't do that though. We jump right in bed. But see, that's the thing. This is where my
of course I'm gonna join you sexually.
Exactly.
But
that can't be the end game.
Right.
That can't be the end game.
As you get older, your sex is gonna deplete.
I got toxic
your sex.
I got toxic sex. So when I have sex with a woman, it's not. It doesn't. What? The sexual stamina?
Yeah.
No, not for everybody.
It will as you get older. It ain't happened to me, but I'm saying as you get older. I ain't trying to cover
Listen, not for every man.
Not me, but my friend.
As you get older, it becomes more about companionship.
And I agree with you.
And less about sex.
Listen. And this is hard for me to say because I got some females that probably want to see this that like me. But I'm being transparent man about it.
I mean, dating for marriage now.
I'm dating for marriage, but I mean that means I'm actively dating. So, and you know what my biggest thing is? You ain't my girlfriend.
Right.
That's just real. You ain't my girlfriend, sweetheart.
Right.
And what is a girlfriend? I don't even know what that. It's a stage 2 marriage, right? But you have to graduate into that stage. Because what is what is claiming? What is the requirements? So we're faking like we're married. Is that what we're doing?
Right. We're not faking it. What I'm saying is we're gonna be exclusive with each other.
When I'm dealing with a woman, that is what the groundwork looks like. What is this stage that we're at? Are we, you know,
what is it for you?
Are we a sneaky link? Because I got a lot of sneaky links.
Nah, but you ain't gonna say that's my girlfriend
over years of time.
I have a question.
You're not gonna call your girlfriend a sneaky link.
No, but what I'm saying is I have girls.
They start out that way.
But I have girlfriends.
But then she became your girlfriend.
I have female friends. When I say girlfriends, I have female friends who I engage with sexual activity over a long period of time without a commitment. That's a sneaky link.
So I've learned that the 100% way to tell that is when they go in there and they change their Facebook status.
Yo, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
When they change it from
This one's
you're out of the
crazy.
relationship into the relationship,
see,
women is serious.
I always make this. I always say this, and the last female who I was became my girlfriend got mad because I said it. Women have this thing about them where they make you their man without your permission, and it's almost like well, I gave you some butt, so you're my boyfriend. No, because we didn't have a mutual agreement to whatever we're doing. What does that look like? What are you requiring of me? What can I require of you? I have some female friends who it's cool. I can send, she needs a few bucks. I send her some money. She sends me some money. We have that nature of relationship.
And you know
we're building something. We're building, and I don't do that with every woman.
Exactly.
I won't even ask a woman for money.
Right.
So now, should I take her? She enjoys me. I like her. I enjoy her. But we're not in a committed relationship.
So what if all that works?
What's your question? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Y'all are really having a good time. Talking about women in front of a woman. But it's
That's
okay.
what's here.
Yeah. I'm like, you know. My question is, how can you actually actively date to marry when you're dating multiple women at one time? Or sleeping with women
standing up for
no, women. I'm not standing up for us. It's a genuine question.
That's a good question.
From Honey J.
It's a good question, Honey.
I want to understand your thoughts.
Now, one, I didn't say that I'm having sex with all of them.
No, I understand that, but
I want to be clear though to the
you're dating
viewers.
multiple women.
I want to be clear to the viewers.
Well, I have a
not per se dating.
You just a head turner off.
She doing me filthy.
No, I'm repeating what you said to make sure we fully understand how a man can actively look for marriage in a woman and have a sneaky link that's been there for 9 years, but then you will date a woman that can't be your girlfriend because you're dating her too, and you might want to take her on a date.
Right.
How can you actively date to marry any of them?
You can't say you're doing that.
Because, no. You can say it. It's honest, it's transparent. But I just think...
it's confusing.
No, it's just, how can you actually
We need an explanation.
Can you be...
I'm sorry.
How can you actually focus on this woman and fully understand her and what she brings to the table and what you can bring to the table if you're spreading your energy out here, right? Because I'm thinking about you right now because you're in front of me. But then I know when I get home, I also have to text so-and-so good night, right? So you're not fully engaged in me and what we can build together, because in the back of your mind, you gotta sleep with so-and-so because it's been 2 weeks, and you know if you ain't sleep with her in 2 weeks, so I ain't sleep with her yet, I ain't had none in a month, so I'm gonna call her tomorrow, but then I gotta text 2 people good morning, and then I gotta, I might need someone at the club, so I'm adding her to that because I want to take her on a date and see what she's talking about. But I'm never really going to fully understand anything because my focus is all these different places. So I just want to understand. It's not challenging you. It's just
I don't think it that way.
yeah, it's just understanding the thought process of how you could ever get to the girlfriend and then the fiance and then the marriage if you keep all of these options on your table, right?
Okay. I like what you're presenting, and I want to provide a little clarity. I love this conversation.
Yeah.
I want to provide a little clarity. And I'll be starting a podcast soon. And I want you guys to come on my podcast.
Please.
My podcast is going to be called One of One, and it's about recovery and what it looks like. And because we can recover from all kinds of things.
Yes.
And relationships is going to be a big thing in that, because a lot of times we don't recover from past relationships.
There you go.
And that's kind of what she's saying. The same way that a woman can still carry baggage from bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. What is she talking about? You're bringing your past into your new relationship.
Yeah.
You're bringing your past. This is women do it all the time. What you're asking me how I can do? The question goes both ways, because you're bringing. This is what it looks like to me. First of all, I want to clear some things up. You cannot spread yourself around and look. You can't be a hoe and expect white results. Just like I spoke earlier about whatever fruit's on that tree, that's what the tree is. If it's apples, it's an apple tree. So I do get that. Now, me in recovering from my sexual promiscuity, in my ways of doing what I do, right, or have done, I've learned, but what I've started to do is close myself sexually to those women. So if I'm dating multiple women, but I'm not having sex with those women, then I can do that. Because I'm focused on this woman at that time when she's with me. It's 100% her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's about her. And another thing is, he spoke on having patience within it. I might see something at first, and then when I'm getting it, you can't put on an act for 90 days. I call it the 90-day test. You know what I'm saying? In that 90 days, I'm going to see the real Honey J. I'm going to see the real Honey J. I might have saw Honey J last night. She was cute and sassy, you know. Oh, yeah. But how does she act when she's unhappy with me? How does she respond when we're in a disagreement? What does it look like when I challenge her? What does it look like when she challenges me? How do we resolve conflict? These are the processes that you're going to have to do, that I'm going to go through before I say you're going to be my wife.
Of course.
And
but
so
see, you ain't going to get all that right away, dog.
Like I said, the 90-day process.
Hey, you
so
need more 90 days, bro.
No.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that plays a part in stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff like kids. I mean, like you have a kid with somebody, you know, they feel like they got a kid with you, so now
I got 3 baby mamas. I got 3 baby mamas. I'm just saying,
there's a lot of dynamics in with the situation on learning a female. They can hold out for years and then they'll feel like they're in a position to now challenge you because they feel like, oh, damn, I'm doing this. And it can come out at any time.
But I hear a lot of people say things change after
marriage, right?
Things
do change, man.
And things change.
But
I agree with you. I believe that to love is to know. And in order to know someone, it takes time. And so, I mean, I feel like you said, when they're broke, when they're successful, when they have experienced loss, when they experience gain. You want to see all of those things, and sometimes 90 days is enough, and sometimes it's not. Depending on how transparent.
You gotta want to see more.
Right.
If you want to see more, if you want to learn more about the person, and you want to continue learning about the person, and that's when you say, okay, this is the person. Like after 90 days, like maybe she don't fit all your criteria, but they don't fit your criteria, and you still want to move with them. That's when it's like, damn, why the fuck? I still want to move with this person.
I try to
they don't fit my criteria. That's what make it different.
I try to get out of the criteria thing because then I'm moving out of my flesh. And I'm not into women strictly for their flesh. Like, because initially your eyes are once saying, oh, that looks like what I was saying, the girl was going to make them. But when I looked at her, I'm like, she's a young girl. And I ain't even going to get anything. Yeah, the body look good, of course. Pop a couple kids in them, eat a couple hundred bowls of cereal.
Right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It gotta be more than
physical. That's why, and it's gonna take more than that to keep. Right. That may bring me there. It may bring me to the party, but am I going to stay at the party? And so, therefore, that's why I ask the right question.
Right.
I've come up with I call it an application process.
My goodness.
I call it an application process. I have a list of questions.
But see, I did all that. I really feel like it's called a blind side. The one that you really fall for is not going to be the one that answers the question right. It's not going to be the one that did that. It's going to be the one that you like, but didn't.
The questionnaire process is important, and you may not ever get to all the questions.
Sure.
You may not get to all of them, but when you ask the right question, you don't have to. You know she's not. There is no correct answer.
Right.
I don't look for a correct answer. I look for an authentic answer.
Right.
I love the woman that can tell me, oh no, I ain't doing that. This is how I do it.
It's not my answer,
love
I
that.
answer.
Exactly. I look for comfort. I look for the things that I see. Because I need a woman that's really good. I can't have a woman who I'm in a stage where I might go to a show and perform like last night. There's different women that I'm giving hugs to and I'm talking to. You gotta have security about yourself to know that I'm leaving home with you. I'm going home with you.
Right.
Or I'm not.
Right.
But either way, where is your head at? Because it's not also always about sex. And a lot of times women also use sex as a weapon against you. In the reverse.
Oh
way.
yeah,
they go-
I was just talking about
they
that
go into
earlier.
it.
It can be very toxic and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate it.
And they'll say, oh, well, you were having sex with this girl, but you don't know none of the dirt that she did.
Right.
And it's like, come on, sweetheart. Stop playing this virgin Mary. You don't know none of the dirt she did. Because women are very good at it. We're not good at it.
Right.
We're not good at lying.
Y'all don't think
Yeah,
past
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
I think it really be
They
that.
already got it all planned out before they even
Yeah.
I think they block it out.
No,
I think they make it to the point where they don't believe it.
way better. They already got the plan laid out. They already got the story. They already got. You'll never
2
know.
weeks before,
You'll
2 weeks
never
after,
know.
we got it all together.
I've been the guy that got it on him, and I've been the guy that's done the dirt. So I know both sides. But my question there consists of me finding out: are you mentally capable to keep my attention?
Right.
I'm an intelligent man. You gotta be smart. I can't deal with a dumb one.
Right.
One, period.
Right.
That's out. You gotta have some sort of spiritual system.
Right.
Must have. Period.
Yeah.
Anything else is out. There's certain things that are not, you don't have to look a certain way. I used to have that. My sister said, I used to have it. You always got to be the nice thing, girl. Long hair. That wasn't even really my criteria. It just so happened that that would happen sometimes.
Right.
But you know, you look at my baby mamas, they all look different. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a per se standard. I love the woman that loves me. You know what I'm saying? I also want her to equal meet me where I'm at. Because I want you to, I'm a big person of communication and having understanding what I'm doing.
Well, maybe say that you love women that love you. Because I feel that way too.
It's a certain level of arrogance. Because guess what? I want to love what you love. I dated this one girl and she loved movies. I love movies. I like to watch movies. You never go to the movies. She's like, I like action movies too. And then we go to the movies, she's embarrassing the hell out of me. Say that. And then I would go with her. As an MC, I don't like to do karaoke. It's so easy to me.
Karaoke white.
And but I would go with her and I would do karaoke. And then she was like, I complained to her about the movie, and then she said, well, you don't do stuff with me. I said, I don't like doing karaoke. I do it because you do. That's what I mean about loving. I need a woman who loves me because I want to be able to. If I don't love what you love, I still want to be able to engage with what you love.
And you might end up loving it.
And you might end up loving it. I love to cook, but I don't really want you in the kitchen helping me cook.
Right.
Because you're in my way.
Right.
Right, for sure.
You're in my way. We can work together somehow, make a mutual agreement. Oh, well, babe, go ahead, do this and this and this.
Do this.
While I do this.
Right.
But if you're like standing there and you're right beside me,
yeah,
you're right in the kitchen, and you're kind of like in my way a little.
Now you telling me
some women think it's
you-
romantic. What is romantic when I help you cook? Yeah, but you're in my way.
Right.
So,
And when you cooking, you don't, that's it
you're
real.
slowing me down. And loving what I love, that's the important thing. And I need to be able to love what you love. So we don't have that kind of understanding and that kind of foundation. What are we doing? You're not going to be my girlfriend just because we date John. That doesn't characterize you as my girlfriend.
So why did you take it?
Because I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. It's like vagina is like a used car.
It's so much of the school.
Pussy is like a used
We
car.
live in this on the
You
country.
want me to say it vulgarly?
Right.
Pussy is like a used car. That makes it sound better.
That
Does
makes it
sound
feel
good.
better.
Make you feel better.
Yeah.
Professional word.
Those songs.
Scientific
It's
word.
like a used car.
Vagina is like a used car. I need to test drive it before I decide if I want it.
And what is
now,
and what
I have
is-
learned.
That could be a brand new car.
I have learned, and I'm gonna say this, but this is gonna be very transparent. I just recently got on this, and I think this is gonna change the trajectory of my wife.
Right.
That I got it. I've been struggling with celibacy. I've been actually trying to be celibate.
Yeah, that's why.
And I've been going back and forth with it, and it's been beating me. You know what I'm saying? It has,
Well, so when you say something, you still take it off.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might be masturbating, or as soon as the minute I say I'm about to be celibate, my phone will start blowing up.
Right.
That's
What?
You gotta be
You
patient.
Catherine, call him. You know what I'm saying?
All the boy answer the cigar.
And you be like, you wanna be
Yeah, you gonna be celibate?
You gonna find out who that is.
phone call. I realized, like she said, and I have to, because, like I was saying also, I have to be who I'm looking for to get what I'm trying to accomplish. So in order for me, I have to be husband material to get my wife. And I know that.
Man, that's
I
hard.
struggle with that, and I'm honest, this is where all my recovery
That's
actually
checking
comes into
yourself.
play. Because I know that I'm a sexual man. Like, I'm really
Right.
I have a high sex drive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I also get bored with you.
Right.
If you're not excited sexually, you go keep me entertained. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need another,
So how you working on that?
we need another chick to be involved.
You
in
said
this.
you trying to shift that thought process and looking for your wife.
Yeah, because I realize that I'm giving into my flesh and not my spirit. I'm allowing my flesh to determine what my search is. And that's not where my connection is going to be with my wife. It's going to be a
Exactly.
spiritual connection.
Because
So I
like,
need to
once the
let
spirits
that in.
connect, that part of it will
Will be-
become easy.
Exactly.
And she will
And she'll
want
fulfill-
to do
and she'll
there you
fulfill
go,
it.
exactly.
And that's what that's
Because I met a man, well, we're good friends, and he was very promiscuous. In fact, because I'm not saying his name, I'm sure he won't mind, but his mother encouraged his promiscuity to the point where, she would help him go pick up the girl, and she would lie to the girl mama, make sure she would talk to the girl like, you won't let my son hit, right? Okay.
That's a mama loving son. That's a mama.
And so,
The
look at
only thing you
that.
can be, mama love the son, and the mama don't want the son to settle down. So when the mama sees
But she
that,
also doesn't want him to get in trouble. So
Nah, she like your
let me finish.
She-
So she
yeah,
would
bro.
get the girl to come over, they let them do it, and then she would talk to the girl on the way driving her home. You enjoyed it, right? You're not going to tell your parents this is what you do when you get in the house. And she coached
That's crazy.
the situation all the way through, right?
That's crazy.
And so it affected
Uh-uh.
him as a man.
it almost sounds,
He said, lock that.
yeah, it almost sounds like juvenile or what is it, like criminal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it's crossing lines in some ways,
so-
right?
so what
but
it is-
to get to the point, he was a very promiscuous man, even in his marriage, right?
Why
But he
would you
did
be?
say that the best sex he ever had was with his wife because they were spiritually connected. It wasn't the freakiest sex he ever had. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But as far as what he could consider the best, and so I said that to a point to say that you're right. You don't have to set your standards around your life based off of the flesh, because the spiritual connection and the love is what's going to make that the best sex.
Sex just feels like it's the lowest form of pleasure. Like other than it takes you away from your true potential of what you meant to do in this world. I feel like sex is
I think you asked me earlier that I replace my addiction with something. And that's what you do. And what it is, when you replace, the reason why I never replace my addiction with something else is because you're not getting rid of the problem. Addiction, drugs is a symptom of the addiction, not the addiction itself. Right? So drugs is like what a cough is to a cold. The cold is really the bacteria that's in your blood.
right.
That's the problem. But the cough is letting you know that you have the bacteria. The drug is letting me know that I have an addictive behavior.
Right. But you're
So
replacing
whether
a
it's-
drug with something that's more
But
positive.
I have not
With something that
addressed,
drives
but I have not addressed the behavior. I have not addressed the root of the
So maybe the
problem.
behavior's not bad. Maybe it's what you're fitting the behavior toward.
And my best
See, you driven
thinking, and
like-
my best
you know
thinking got
something?
me there, and that's what I need to address. Yes,
With
but
maybe
I have
your-
a problem with
If you take
that.
that same drive towards sex and you put it towards something that can build your.
So you distracted yourself.
You're not distracting yourself.
You distracted yourself from the sex.
You just went from looking at this to looking at that.
But the distraction is going to build. The distraction will do more for me. The sex is. It's just
address the problem. What I'm saying.
You just distracted
You're
yourself.
just taking away. You're looking. That's just like.
What about how I think of behavior? And I need to take a picture
What
from
is that behavior
something
look
that's
like?
negative to something positive.
So what is the causing the addictive behavior? That's what you need.
I'm gonna tell you what I had to address with me. I was unhappy with myself.
Right.
I didn't like what I'm doing.
Right.
I didn't like. I felt like I was underachiever. You know, being a rapper and
And
having
I can relate to that show, man. All that shit. And I relate to that shit.
and being
I
as
can't help but relate to it.
and
Being
being as good as I am in what I do, and oftentimes I'm my biggest critic. I would say to myself, well, I'm smarter than this guy. How come he's got the car and the house? I don't have it. How come he got the girlfriend? I have more batteries than he ever had. I don't have a wife, but he's got me. When I spoke wrong, my addictive behavior was my lack of self-love. My behavior that had to be addressed was loving myself. And then you have to say, well, why don't you love yourself? Because you don't know yourself. How do I know myself? Who says who I am? Oh, this is why what you said is so critical. The Father. He gives me the direction of who I am in real time. So when I start believing that who he says I am, I result in my energy is different to what I feed my body. That way I can look at myself and say, I got a problem with sex. I would never. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, this we talk. I've been bragging about how much bras I have. Totally going the opposite spectrum of where I'm at now. You don't just come from out of something and it just disappears. You gotta walk away from it and there's distance in between it until you get farther enough away to where it's no longer. So like she asked me, is it the end of the day thing? Yes. And I was this close to the drugs at one point, and I was this close. But if I would have went one step back and keep going like this, I'm in the same distance. I had to keep going further one day at a time, one day at a time. So now I'm like, oh, it's way back then. I ain't walking all the way back then.
Right.
Now it's becoming distasteful. You get to a place where you don't want it anymore. You get to a place, and that's the same thing with this. So my struggle, my sexual struggle, isn't about me happiness. Isn't about the actual pleasure. It's about my desire to conquer.